They have a translation. They do have a translation. Mm. And here's the English, thanks to John McGuire and Edward Robinson's translations of Heidegger's Beginning and Being in Time, Harper and Row.
What?
Which I what? In anxiety, one feels uncanny. Here, the peculiar indefiniteness of which Danes finds himself alongside in anxiety comes approximately to expression. The nothingness and nowhere. But here, uncanniness also means not being at home. Das nicht zu Haus
VTuber.
In our first indication of the phenomenal character of Daneson's basic state in our clarification of the existential meaning of being in, as distinguished from the categorical significance of insideness, being in was defined as residing alongside, being familiar with. This character being within was then brought to view more concretely through the everyday publicness of the they, which brings tranquilized self-assurance, being at home with all its obviousness into the average everydayness of Daneson. On the other hand, as Daneson falls, anxiety brings it back from its absorption in the world. Everyday familiarity collapses. Daneson has been I'm more reading this from my point at this point. Daneson had been individualized, but individualized as being in the world. Being in enters into the existential mode of the not at home. Nothing else is meant by our talk about uncanniness. Sorry, I was okay. I had to read that because that entire bit was a section in German and that I could not read, so that was the translation of it.
Ah, cool. All right. So, hi. Let's get ready for this very chill, laid-back session.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, pretty chill today. Not a lot happened, but
My father is dead.
Shut up. Nobody cares. I'm sorry.
No, it's true.
R.I.P. Rudolph. Hey. No, yeah. So last time, you all made your way back to Vesper. Managed to save the town from a giant sinkhole and whatever giant abyssal worm that decided to carve through the center of the city. Afterwards, you headed back to Ramsey's home, stayed the night, and had a fairly nice dinner. Rypley was then confronted by Rudolph, Ramsey's father. And when Rudolph realized that Rypley was not welcome back into his clan, made some quick assumptions and captured Rypley, and then called Noctis in to deal with the traitor, as the words were. Noctis, however, showing up, absolutely didn't want to do that, and used the opportunity to try and get a different sort of leverage out of the situation, revealing that he knew that there was some kind of experiment being done to Damien. And apparently Ramsey as well, but apparently it was previously done to Ramsey, as currently being done to Damien. Nonetheless, after this quick realization, combat ensued. It was really unclear on whose side you guys were on. Anastasia, whatever her name, Anastasia, that's her name, right?
Yeah. Why are you asking us?
Yes, her name is Anastasia.
There we go. That's my brain. That's my brain putting words in the wrong order and then not knowing how to read.
It's okay.
Wait,
You're
that's
wonderful.
called dyslexia. Well, yeah, Anastasia. Somehow activated some sort of bestial trigger, turning your father into a giant sort of bat-like beast, which barely lasted 2 rounds in combat before ultimately being taken down. Quinn had a fantastic idea to get everybody to safety by trapping them all in a tiny hut so that nobody could hurt Damien or anybody else who was taking points of exhaustion during the combat. Once all of you were generally safe, Felix teleported everybody away. But at the last second, realized a little bit too late that somebody got left behind. And now at this point, I'm going to ask everybody to please leave the call, except for good old Holly. So I'll see you guys later.
I just want to remind you, I wrote a note for Noctis on the floor.
Oh, yeah. It was, wasn't it just like, I see you later? I'll see you later or something?
I just said, don't die.
Oh, yeah, just said don't die. Yeah, lol, yeah, that's what it said. It was something like that. Anyway. Right on. All right.
But hi there.
Yeah, hi there.
Hi there.
Hi there, Holly.
Yeah.
So, Holly, as you see, you feel that almost tightness, that pull of teleportation just for a moment, but it is weaker than it normally is as you watch your friends simply vanish in that sort of purplish black kind of sort of magic that is Felix.
Yes, and I was able to throw. Holly reached into her hair and pulled out her last will and testament and threw it towards Ramsey, which he caught.
As they whoosh away, and as Quinn leaves the field, that hut drops as well, and then there's a moment of silence, just like a breath of silence that only lasts a second in real life, but feels much longer in the moment. And then you hear Alycia just scream. And she goes, "What have you done? What have you done?" And Noctis turns and just goes, "Well, you should have thought of that before you decided to sell me your son." And you watch as he just bolts. He moves faster than you can quite comprehend in the moment. It almost looks like he's teleporting, but you don't get that sort of arcaneness from him as you watch him just appear in front of Anastasia and just pummel her as you watch her back go flying and then hear bones crack as she hits the wall. She then kind of falls forward, unable to reach her husband, as now they're maybe 20 or so feet apart. And you watch as she just slumps down the wall, breathing barely. And Noctis kind of just looks at her for a moment.
Is she still kicking? Or
Noctis reaches down to grab her. But as he goes to grab her, her body begins to decay in that very similar sort of ashy way disintegrate does. As Noctis goes to reach for her and grab her to finish her off, his hand reaches nothing. And then he goes, "Oh, that's no fun." And then he kind of turns and looks back at you.
I'm still here.
Hello.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you teleport?
I genuinely don't know.
He kind of begins to descend the staircase back down, kind of walking back towards the sort of carcass that is left of Rudolph.
Oh, here, I got it. Here, I can help you with that. And Holly will send some spores and then proceed to zombify and, using spore druid magic, have him rise and stand.
What are you doing?
I mean, we're burying him in the backyard, right? I'm assuming.
Sure. I was just going to leave him here, but
I mean, okay, is this your first time committing a crime? This is evidence. I know you're like, because if this gets found out, then everyone else finds out about everything else, and you lose a lot of your leverage on this place. Sorry, sorry, I don't mean to intrude. They might be back here. All right, give me 1 second, and Holly will drop an acorn on the ground, grow it into a tree, cover like a smaller tree covered in some little mushrooms and stuff, and then she'll take off her cloak of displacement and sort of hang it on it, as if it's like a coat rack. All right. Let's head on out. Like you just want to throw him in the backyard or something?
Sure. I'm curious. You didn't look like the necromancer type.
Oh, no. Oh, sorry. It's technically not necromancy. It's more it's actually kind of fascinating how it works. I haven't described it to the others because they would, call it kind of weird, but I'm sure your sins far outnumber my own. So, and Holly will start to just like walk out the door.
Yeah, he's kind of following you, just kind of both watching you and this zombified version of Rudolph, which is like parts of like his like he's like still like there's like juices still kind of leaking from him as he saunters off, because there's still a giant hole in his chest, and Noctis is fully holding the heart in one of his hands.
It's actually really interesting how it works. So the spores, Holly looks and then she has that like look on her face of like, oh shit, this is something weird. I shouldn't be talking about this.
No. Go on. I asked. Tell me.
All right. If you insist. So the spores go into the nose, and there's I got a good bit of medical knowledge, I'll be honest. There's the sort of part of the nervous system which, connects from the brain to the nose that allows you to smell. And it has like this sort of softer part of tissue right there. And so I just have the spores go there, go into the nose, because, you breathe in the spores, and then they kind of burrow, I think is the best word for it, as their roots kind of go through and then grow around the brain. And because you know how mushrooms, like, they communicate very similarly to how the nervous system does, because it's a lot of electrical signals, right? So all you really got to do is kind of just grow it so it sort of fits around in the cracks and crevices of the brain, and then you just send the electrical signals to the brain to make the body move how you want it to. That's really it. It's not the most effective while they're alive. Well, I haven't tested it. It's more because then it's the signals counteracting each other, and that kind of would be weird. That's really just how it works, though.
Have you ever tried it on an unconscious person? Say if they were dead asleep.
I'm going to be honest, I have thought about this mainly in theory. This is the first time I've actually genuinely tried it.
This is quite fascinating, I'll be honest. I've never
Thank
seen
you.
It used this way.
Everyone calls me really weird for all this stuff. Oh, yeah. You should, by the way, what's your plan for all the, controlling Ramsey's mom and stuff?
I'll, figure that out if she decides to show her face again.
Because
In the meantime, I have enough say within the city to keep it functioning.
Yeah, because at this point, you have basically complete control. Because I'm guessing you had minor control before, but now, if they, I think I got some here, and Holly will pull out one of the vials of the ichor. Yeah, it's like because you can just use this as blackmail to ruin the family name. Because already with the sinkhole happening, the disaster, they would lose everything because they're.
Oh,
I'm going to be honest, their reputation's already pretty rough. All right, and then once they get to the backyard, Holly will mold earth and just kind of lift up a chunk of 5-foot earth into the air, and then, all right, go, and then have him just kind of tumble and fall into the pit, and then drop it on top, the dirt on top. All right, good enough.
Well,
it's an unmarked grave. It's kind of it'd be weird to not have it.
That's fair, but well. I assume your friends will probably be back soon. I doubt they'd let you stay here with me around. Why don't we say, head back into the town?
Sure. Yeah.
Unless you want to hang around a crime scene.
Very, very clever. Yeah, why not? I'm kind of hungry. I honestly, I didn't really eat anything that they offered me. They were kind of weird.
Yeah, well,
Can't blame me.
You're smart. I
Mm.
have a theory they might have laced parts of their food with that same sort of ichor,
Mm.
in case they needed to control you. I wouldn't be surprised. They mentioned to me
Yeah.
briefly their theories of total control over their city, but nah.
Wow. Wow. So they really just were assholes. All right. I feel not as, like, I already didn't feel bad about it, but I feel much not as bad now for punching that guy in the stomach.
It was quite admirable.
Uh,
I didn't expect that from you.
I sometimes get like a bloodlusty kind of rage when it comes to battle. Um,
Ah,
my impulse, I ain't got the best impulse control, if I'm being honest.
no, I like it. You've got a fire in you.
Oh, don't. Mm-hmm.
What?
Mm, nothing. Uh, yeah. Holly, very visibly uncomfortable at the mention of that word.
He takes
Uh,
note, and then kind of leads you. He's like, "Let's head back inside and out through the front, and that way we can make sure our tracks are covered. Don't want to seem too suspicious,
Holly will
even."
snap her fingers and cast Pass Without a Trace so they no longer leave tracks. Have it
Hmm,
that.
you are quite useful, aren't you? Come on. And he kind of begins to walk out. Kind of walks back.
Holly very hesitantly will follow.
Yeah, he keeps an eye on you, walking just slightly ahead, but he's always like kind of looking back over his shoulder. So, uh, he kind of takes you. How about he kind of takes you a little ways into the city? Maybe it's probably like a 5 minute walk, maybe less. Um, and he kind of takes you to the small cafe, like in it's like very small. Like the tables are very close to each other, though it is fairly empty because of the sort of chaos that happened. Like not
Mhm.
like yesterday, but you
Yeah.
could see like there's a bunch of flowers and stuff that are growing like over the streets and now because of your plant growth. And Noctis kind of takes you into it, and Noctis is just like, "How about we chat over a coffee?" Uh,
Sure. I mean, I ain't got anything better to do.
Fair enough. Um,
Besides, I don't feel like I got much of a choice in this matter, if I'm being honest.
hmm, you could just. I'm not holding you hostage. We'll say that. And he kind of steps in and kind of goes and just finds like a little booth. But as you enter Holly, you notice the kind of uh, sort of barista or owner of the shop. Is like an older drow woman, kind of like sort of salt and pepper kind of hair pulled back into like a tight bun. And she kind of looks over and she goes, "Excuse me, you don't happen to be a part of the party who saved um us from that sinkhole yesterday?
Oh yeah, yeah, that was us.
I I saw what you did. You saved my son. Please, whatever you want on the menu, it's on me. Thank you again." And she kind of like you see this. She's kind of like like bows her head a little bit and kind of like reaches out a hand to like shake yours.
Hollywood chicken, like, hey, no need for the formalities. I mean, also, to be honest, you're running a business here. I'm not gonna deprive you of that.
Oh,
We'll pay. Don't worry.
it's the least I can do for such a hero. You
If you
saved.
insist. All right, all right.
And she kind of goes and she kind of goes back to like if you guys wanted to whatever you guys want to
Mm-hmm.
order. It's fine.
Holly will sit down. So, so whatever you order, it's on me today. And
Apparently.
Holly will get a coffee and like a little coffee cake.
Yeah, Noctis also just gets like a plain black coffee. But you notice that he puts like a little bit of honey in it. Um, And that's about it. And he's like, you've made yourselves into quite the heroes.
I mean, we try to do a bit of good, at least to outweigh some of the bad that we do.
Well, if karma's a thing, then I don't think you'll need to worry.
Mm-hmm.
How many cities have you saved?
Um, technically, two for sure. One kind of up in the air if we saved it or not. I'd like to think we saved it because we stopped. It's the Andorra because we got those like weird fucking racist assholes out of the city.
And
Thank you for your help with that, by the way.
oh, least I could do. You helped me in that situation. It's
Mm-hmm.
a partnership, I guess. But
I suppose you could call it that.
I mean, if it wasn't for you getting into all that trouble, I wouldn't have as much say or seat in power. We wouldn't be recognized.
I can't take credit for the trouble that was caused.
No, that was mostly Ripley, wasn't it?
Actually, no, it was mainly Felix.
Really?
Yeah, he disintegrated a man in the street. Captain of the guard.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Uh-huh.
ballsy.
Yeah. I like okay. He's smart and all, but god damn it, sometimes that man does not think through problems. Uh, and they complain about my impulse control.
It appears you all have your faults to that, then.
Yeah,
At
that's true.
least your impulses are correct for the most part.
I'd like to think so.
You really have a good head on you.
Thank you. Everyone else, I know I mentioned this, but everyone else sees me as like, what was the term they used? A war criminal?
A war criminal?
Yeah, because
In what
because
war?
exactly because okay, the way I see it, if someone's threatening your life, they have forfeited their right to their life, and and I'm gonna say all plants and fungi can technically be used in some way that some people may consider a bit cruel, but honestly, I believe it's just the natural cycle of life and death. Decay brings more life. So when things become stagnant, it's only natural mold will begin to form and decay such things. That's how it works.
I agree, in some strange way. I thought if you just. I used to think that if you would just decay the world, nothing would be left. And I thought that would be the best for a while. But then the world proved me wrong. And now I see that there's a sort of beauty in watching what grows from the ashes.
Yeah. Uh, mm, mm. Holly seemed like it had a little bit of blush on her face, but then once ashes were mentioned, she flinched a little bit.
Why do you.
Hmm?
Are you afraid of the word ashes? Or what is it? Fire?
Uh, Holly grips the side of the table, to the point where her knuckles become a little bit white. Mm. Yeah, I ain't got anything to lose telling you. Honestly, everyone else just kind of avoids it. They've never asked me actually what happened. So I don't have the best relationship with fire. The only light sources in Zamir are crystals and some rare bioluminescent fungi. And there is an armed force that enforces the law in the slums. They have flamethrowers. They would patrol, and anyone who hadn't paid their rent or was caught breaking too many laws would be burnt to the ground. Because the slums are old dwarven ruins, meaning it's all stone. So they just go into the house and torch the inside, leaving nothing but ash. Due to the light sources in the city being somewhat dim, you could tell by smell and by the bright lights. You could always tell when they were enforcing the law. So I'm not the biggest fan of it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed because I think death leads to decay, which leads to growth. But a lot of the time, fire burns and consumes until nothing is left. It doesn't make anything new. It just ash. Just takes and takes. And while things can grow from that, I feel like it's sort of a waste. And not so, to say the least, me and Fire don't got the best history. Also, not to mention, I am. Holly once again looks hesitantly and will sort of unbutton and then take off her coat and then show her back, which has the plants growing from it.
Well, that is
I'm sort
amazing.
of. Everyone else calls it weird. Okay, because. So I'm
You
sort
see,
of.
he kind of like there's like a second when he like almost reaches out, but then kind of like pulls his hand back, like he's like he almost like wanted to like just like try and like just touch one of them.
It's fine. You can go ahead.
He kind of just goes in and kind of gently kind of brushes his hand over some of the plants a little bit.
As he does, Holly, you can see Holly's back, like she does like a shuddering because, sorry, sorry about that.
Sorry.
It's connected to my nerves and stuff, so I can just kind of feel it, and because of that, it's sort of like, and Holly will put the coat back on. I am essentially a human candle, so.
I find it
Yeah.
almost ironic, really, that someone named Holly is afraid of fire. But I understand.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that that happened to you.
Yeah, it's.
Have you ever seen hollyhock? I would assume so. I mean, maybe it doesn't grow that far north.
I've seen like hollyhock. Yeah.
It's
I've seen not hollyhock. I've seen holly, like, and holly will grow just like a bit of like normal holly, like with the red berries. Like I know holly. I don't know if hollyhock. I've never heard of that one before. And Holly like kind of leans in across the table interestedly.
it's a flower. It was. It first started showing up around the Avelko clan shortly after I took power. Went on a little bit of a minor rampage at the beginning of my rule. Was fairly upset with my brother and those who supported him, not me. Burnt quite a bit of the forest, but I mean, it healed. And it healed much better than I was expecting it to. From it grew these very small, like red flowers. We called them hollyhocks. They are completely fire resistant. I've tested them myself. It's interesting.
They sound quite interesting. I'd love to see them sometime. And I must say, I don't find your destruction all that weird. Saying, like I said, decay and death brings more life. And Holly will like hesitantly like look down and then like look around to make sure that no one is like listening very closely and then lean in across the table. And that also includes people. Some folks I think would do more good for the world as fertilizer rather than being alive to cause more damages.
No, I fully agree with you there. I think we're a lot alike, Holly, in a weird way.
That is the kindest insult I've ever been told.
Well, I never expected to meet anybody who agreed on me with, well, such views.
Don't tell the others I said that. They would.
I won't.
They're not
Your
the
secret is
most
safe
open
with
to
me.
those sort of ideas.
Yeah, your secret is safe, alright. Plus, I can't be one to judge. You saw me kill a man not but a couple minutes ago, so
Yeah, very impressive.
thank you. I've been
Mhm.
training those skills for a while. I'm not as giftedly arcane as you are.
Oh, okay. I mean, I I wasn't born with powers, right? I had to gain them.
I'm the same way.
It took a lot of effort. It was
Not a sacrifice.
almost died for it, actually.
No. That makes two of us, actually.
Cheers to that. And Holly will reach up to her cup of coffee and kind of.
He kind of gently cheers it with you, and takes a sip afterwards.
Honestly, maybe it's. You might call me strange, but I feel like I'm weirdly a bit safe around you. Because, hey, don't get me wrong. I know your strength plenty well, but if you wanted me dead, you would have done it already.
Oh, believe me, I would. But
Yeah,
you can thank Rypley for that.
oh, you won't keep me alive just for my own merits.
Oh, well, now that I've gotten to know you, I think I might, but it started with a promise to him.
Holly like sputters because she was taking a drink of coffee. Like, yeah, yeah,
What? I like you.
nothing. No one has ever been so open about such things before with me. It's just sorry. It caught me a bit off guard. Is all.
Really? I mean,
I mean, I was quite literally ostracized for my smell and my looks and you know my existence. So that includes from the party.
I
Mm,
was ostracized for being what and who I am for many years. But things are beginning to change. So, I don't see why things couldn't change for you as well.
I hope so, but then that would require a little bit of fertilizer being created in Zamira. To put it kindly.
Well, if you ever need any assistance, you know where to
Oh,
find me.
oh, what? And owe you another favor?
Possibly. But, I mean, maybe if you're lucky, I'd do it out of the kindness of my heart.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Oh, sorry. I wouldn't laugh that hard.
No, it's all right. But
hmm Honestly, don't tell him I said this. Ripley does shit talk you a little bit. He made you sound like some kind of big bean scary boogeyman. And while I can attest to that at least a little bit, with the whole, and then Holly will like mimic a heart beating in her hand, but
not just fully has that thing in his pocket, and he's like, "Oh yes, oh,
yeah, Holly will like look and see it dripping slightly through his pants leg onto the seat. Yeah, so
He
it's
kind of like looks around and he's like, "Oh yes, forgot about that." He kind of like grabs like a napkin off the table and kind of wraps up. You see, he like under the
no
table
here, right
wraps
here.
up the
No,
heart.
no, no, no. Here, I got you. Holly will grow a gourd and sort of an empty gourd and crack it open. Here, let's put it in there.
Like he does, yeah. He puts it in there, and then he
And
kind of
then
pushes it. He pushes the heart back towards you a little bit. Could you give that to Ramsey? I think he would want it more than I do.
okay,
When you
that
see him
is.
last.
I'm sure that's gonna leave a wonderful impression.
Well, I mean, you have the echo, you have the heart. Hopefully he can figure out what to do next.
So you're just giving us proof of all your crimes.
Well, what are you gonna do about it? Turn me in?
Oh, once again, that is a good one.
Exactly.
Mm.
No, but he's infected, so I figured if anybody could benefit from the tools, it would be him. I can't really do anything with it. It was
Yeah.
more of a feel-good act than anything else. But
I mean, I could tell it felt good by the shit-eating grin across your face the entire time it was happening.
as you say that, he begins to grin again, just like rethinking about the act, and you could tell. And then he kind of like, as you call him out, he kind of covers his. You see, he covers his face a little bit. He's like, "Oh, you got me."
Holly fully like points at him like, see, there it is.
Stop it. Ugh. I can't help it. It feels good to, kill absolute jackasses like that. I knew that they were on my kill list for a little over a year now, probably.
I mean, I could insult you a bit for that, but I would be a bit of a hypocrite.
Oh. I doubt you could offend me.
Mm-hmm. What do you plan to use our favors for anyway?
Depends when I need them.
Oh, what? Are you going to use one of the two favors to marry me?
Well, now that you've said that, I mean... And he kind of, like, leans into the table just a little bit more. Like...
Holly is clearly, like, flustered and a bit taken aback, like, excuse me? Yeah, what? Mm-hmm. What? That was...
Maybe we should date first, at least. You know.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just kidding with you. Kind of says that, but is still, like, making eye contact as he kind of leans back. Just
Holly fully is, like, looks up, sees that he's still making eye contact, and immediately her eyes dart another direction. I don't feel like you're kidding fully.
Well, I don't think I've ever lied to you. And I have definitely not lying now. I think you're pretty.
At that point, Holly is going to try to cover her face, and I will attempt to make a deception check as the flowers bloom slightly in my hair.
Can he just... Sure, go ahead.
Fuck.
Oh, what was his insight modifier? It's like...
If his passive's above a 10, then he's fine.
Oh, it's insane. He kind of smiles, and you feel as he plucks one of the little flowers. What flower is it?
It is a lily. It's a lily, and the lilies start out white, and then they sort of slowly go pink and then red. And at this point, it's because it's more of a nervous flustered. I'd say they're a bit more pinkish at the current moment in time.
You see, you feel as he reaches over, plucks a flower, and then kind of gently sort of presses it into like your hair a little bit. Like he kind of like, or I guess he plucked it from your hair, didn't he? Or shoulder? Where did he pluck it from? Yeah.
No, they grow from my hair.
Okay, so
that's
he
where all the
plucks
seeds
it.
are.
Never mind. Yeah, so he plucks it. He plucks it from your hair a little bit, and then he kind of like twists it between like two of his fingers just a little bit as he like looks at the flower and he smiles.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to keep this, if you don't mind.
I mean, I grow plants for others to use them, so.
I mean, I don't think I would use this. This is more of a memento.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm.
Here, and he kind of sets the flower on the table.
No, you can. Holly will look away and sort of push it slowly back towards in his direction.
Oh, he kind of smiles, and then he kind of begins to dig around in his pockets a little bit. I'm not normally the kind of person to carry flowers around in my pocket, but maybe next time. Uh, and you see he kind of pulls out of his pocket this like reddish, almost like twig. And then he kind of bends it around a little bit, and like into like a small like ring shape. And he goes, "Come here. Give me your hand." And he like reaches over the table for your hand.
Oh, you really weren't kidding about the marriage thing.
It's not marriage. I'm giving. It is a gift, in hopes that it'll help you with your. Well, I don't think this will cure your fear by any means, but this is a petrified hollyhock twig. I don't think it. If you can revive it, feel free to try, but
well,
I know that if you attune to it, it might be able to help somewhat.
Yeah. Sure. Holly will kind of, once again, looking away, flustered, mainly confused. Like, she still has that sort of look of, like, kind of doesn't fully understand what the fuck is happening and is just like, it was just kind of going with the flow and will kind of just put her hand over the table and reaching out the middle finger of her left hand.
Mm-hmm. And she does kind of. He kind of pushes on. He kind of pushes it onto your middle finger, not your ring finger, just on your middle finger.
Oh, lame.
He's unless he'll put it on your ring finger.
I mean, Holly intentionally like put it out with her ring finger being the only thing there.
Oh, with your ring finger? Okay. So,
yeah.
Sorry, I think you said middle finger. So
sorry,
I was
that's
repeating after
no,
you. I was like,
all
right, well,
that's on me. No, that's on me. That's on me.
All right, never. So yeah, he puts it on the ring, the finger that you give him, and then he kind of like pushes your hand into like a fist. Like he just puts his hand on top of yours, holding your hand in like a fist underneath, and he's just like, and then you hear he goes, "Can you trust me for a second?"
Like I said, if you wanted to kill me, you would have done it already. Knock yourself out.
I just don't want to scare you, is all. Anyway, and he kind of like squeezes your hand a little bit, and he says, "Focus on the ring. Focus on how it feels and attune to it." And as he says that, he reaches into his pocket and he pulls out a lighter, like a small like metal like oil lighter.
Holly looking at the ring and then sees that and sort of like naturally sort of like pulls back a little bit, but is unable to move just because of how fucking strong this man is. Yeah, I'm sorry. I know.
I'm not going to hurt you. I promise. All right. And
Holly's hand is shaking somewhat.
He kind of moves his hand, so that like his fingers kind of gently intertwine with yours a little bit, just kind of a little bit more sturdier as he holds your hand. And you see he opens the lighter, and just like that sort of very dull light blue flame. And he brings it up to like probably his upper like arm, like his elbow area. And the light and the flame kind of gently like kind of catches onto a piece like a little hair on his arm is what it looks like. And it kind of like just like a small trail. It almost looks like when gasoline catches fire and it finds a trail. It begins to slowly like wander down his arm like a small snake of fire before it reaches like the back of his hand, and then begins to slowly spread over his palm.
I'm gonna make a quick charisma saving throw. That's a 6.
But as you see this, Holly, as it gets closer to your hand, Noctis you see it's kind of just lighting up the back of his hand at the moment. It hasn't quite touched yours. Noctis kind of looks at you, and he's looking directly at you, at your face, as the fire is just moving on its own. And Noctis kind of says, "My flames will not hurt you, as long as you wear this ring. I promise." And he kind of says that as you watch the flames just grow up a little over his fingers and begin to kind of just gently lick the sides of your hand. And it is warm, but it doesn't hurt.
I feel like the second it starts to touch, Holly, because Holly's been shaking this entire time, fully just like closes her eyes and looks away, and then feeling the warmth but not the pain, will like slightly open one eye.
The fire doesn't spread to you either. You just like feel it as it kind of like in like this very short flame just kind of gently engulfs his palm. And he holds your hand. He doesn't look to be affected at all by this fire. And you don't feel any sort of pain, any sort of burning. If anything, it feels like just like small like dog kisses, when the dog kind of gently licks your hand. It's warm, and there's a weird sort of like pattern and familiarity to it as the fire just kind of gently licks up the sides of your fingers.
Holly like does that sort of nervous giggle a little bit as it kind of tickles. Oh, oh, all right, that. This. Thank you. This is. Never thought I'd say this about you. That was awful sweet of you, Noctis.
Don't expect this of me very often, then. The fire eventually does kind of die down. Like almost like watching like a fuse kind of go out. It kind of removes itself from like up on his arm and kind of like slowly goes out as it follows that same sort of path it took the first time. And eventually, after about a minute, the fire is completely extinguished, but he's still holding onto your hand, and his palm is still warm. And now that you're holding onto his hand, you realize that he is very warm, like just naturally. There's like this sort of like, just exterior warmth he kind of just exudes. And maybe it's that sort of strange sort of like sulfuric scent that he kind of carries every time he steps into a room. And you're not sure if it's infernal or something like that, but he's just naturally just a little bit more warm than a normal person.
Holly will at this point look up at him. Well, I have a question.
Ask away.
So, do you need me for something? Because I've always felt weird about owing someone a favor. And now I owe you two. Technically three.
Well,
As Holly like kind of gestured, like kind of looks at the ring. So I would at least like to make up one of those. At least one of them. So, there's something you need? Like, you need some help with something?
why don't we
I'm
just
good.
consider...
I'm good with plants.
Why don't we just consider the state a favor?
Gotcha.
I don't really need anything from you, at least not yet. But
Are you sure? I got plants. I got plant grenades. I can trap people. I can control. I can destroy somewhat.
I am quite curious to learn what you can do. But why don't you tell me?
Sure.
You see he kind of like leans in like a little bit, like sitting on his elbows a little, like as he kind of just looks at you.
Holly, still very flustered, mainly confused, as this is a very new experience for Holly. No one has ever like genuinely showed romantic interest in Holly her entire life. Yeah, well, so I have some grenades, which are, they have a base of puffball mushrooms because I can kind of mix plants together with some form of like kind of grafting, and so sorry, yeah. So I have a couple. One of them is Holly will reach down to her waist on her belt and take 3 of the grenades um, and set 2 of them down, and then one set is set down kind of separately to those 2. So these 2 are they're actually really interesting. And then Holly kind of the nervousness kind of leaves her as she starts like talking about this very excitedly. So this one, what it does is it shoots bioluminescent mushrooms that covers a person. So then someone can't really hide or ever do anything with invisibility around you because you can just immediately tell where they are. This one is don't breathe it in because that has a bunch of hallucinogenic mushrooms in it.
Oh,
Yeah, it just makes someone trip balls and they can't actually properly fight you. It's pretty funny. Once again, both of this one and Holly will push the like the fairy fire one to the side. They're fine with that one. This one they consider very cruel. They consider the normal ones cruel too, based off of the way that I suggested that we use them. Which I agree could be kind of mean.
I don't think it's cruel. If you're going into a fight, you gotta have a strategy to win.
Exactly.
Unless
That's
you,
what
of
I
course, want
think.
to go in and die, which
Hmm.
I don't think anybody
Yeah,
recommends.
yeah. They've gotten sort of on my case after the Squash Man incident.
The squash man. Okay, now you have to tell me about that. What is that?
Uh, mm, all right, but I don't feel like telling you here. Mind if we go somewhere else, or at least
Sure.
it it ain't the best store for this sort of place. And here, I'll end it with this. So I got this one which I've been working on. You know about the Weeping Wizard plant?
Uh,
I'll remind
not
you just in case you don't know.
not familiar with it.
So it exists in caves. It's a very rare plant. It's a flower that essentially, when it blooms, it releases these spores which sap away magical energy, which then gets absorbed, and then the plant grows from that. And the plant actually, because when plants absorb something, normally it has a lot of that in it. So it tends to have some magical effects. I've been working on some sort of magical mana potions or whatever. But so this is a grenade I've been working on, which when it's thrown, it will just make a giant burst of those anti-magic, spores. Ain't the most useful yet. I've still in production. Um, let's
Like a
get
natural
at
counter spell.
exactly.
That's genius, Holly.
Thank you. Someone appreciates my good thinking.
Hmm.
And I'll explain
Yes.
the other
You
one
two
and the
can
squash
get up.
man.
And,
Uh, Holly will still will look, and I want to do a sleight of hand to put a gold piece on the table
okay, go ahead. Yeah, roll for that.
because I want to try to hide it from the woman. 'Cause I don't give it. She's fucking running a business. There's just a fucking natural disaster that happened. Oh wait, that's advantage now. 12,
Yeah.
just 12.
Just 12. Okay, fairly.
I see rolled
Yeah,
twice.
you leave it on the table. Noctis noticed, but he doesn't. He's not gonna do or say anything. He doesn't care.
Alright. I know he doesn't. Yeah, we could go hang out some more. It doesn't feel that bad. Plus, they can survive a day without me.
Exactly. Yeah. Hopefully they figure out a way to get you back here. But if not, then
Um, oh no, I have a way I could get back if needed. Don't worry, don't worry. And besides, I'm ain't there like a teleportation circle sort of thing here that I could just take?
I don't think there's one located in Vesper. No, the closest one would be in Quazam.
Mm,
Yeah.
hey, worst case scenario, you can just take me there.
Yeah. Exactly. I have some friends who could take you all the way back to Andorra in but a blink of an eye. But let's go for a little bit of a walk first.
All right. So as we leave the store, Holly would be like, "All right, so, you know the spell grease?
I'm familiar with it.
I have a natural version of it where I take essentially an olive, and then I essentially overload the olive's internal growth mechanism, so it just starts producing a lot of the sort of olive meat and stuff in the inside, and because it's stuck in sort of a smaller capsule, it sort of just implodes on itself and then just bursts in a bunch of olive oil, which sort of acts similar to a grease. So we were going, exploring some stuff, dealing with some cultists, right? And so I greased the floor. Two of them were knocked down, and I ran to try to climb over to try to get to the main chamber of the sort of cave area where we were in. And so what I chose to do was, and I kind of had to stand on one of the guys who was there, and then he proceeded to get up. This is, fuck it, I've described too much of the story already. So he proceeded to get up from what he was standing there, and I could either get knocked down myself into the grease, which I don't want that. And try to forcefully keep him down using my amazing strength, or it could just like stay riding on his head. So I did the natural thing to do, which was essentially I had it so my thighs were clamped around his ears, uh, and I was kind of grabbing on the back of his hair, just trying to maneuver him in place to keep him in the grease. Didn't end great because the next thing I knew, I had a very large knife gouged right into my thigh. I think it hit bone. I wasn't super certain, and I wasn't sure what to do next because that's a very not great scenario to be in. And then I made the decision which everyone has been questioning so far. Um, I took a squash seed and I put it in his mouth, and then I forcibly closed his mouth and forced him to swallow. And then I grew it inside of him, and it kind of burst all his internal organs.
Well,
Which
that is certainly a story. I would have loved to see that, honestly.
yeah. So I technically have a third or a fourth grenade that exists,
That
which
is
which the others don't know about, where it's just kind of grows. Oh, fuck. I feel weird even telling you this. All right, so
internal spores. Is it similar
yeah,
to your zombification thing?
it, kind of, but it goes into the lungs, and they grow on opposite sides of the lungs, and they kind of grow and create a lot of potential energy by growing really hard into each other until they essentially burst.
Huh.
Yeah,
That's efficient. No, I admire that.
no, it is certainly
I would
efficient, but it's
love to see what that looks like. Um,
thank you.
you see, as Doctor says, there was like a split second where he like looks around at like a civilian.
No, I bet, no,
And
no.
then he looks
Hey,
back and just,
hey,
all
only
right,
on bad people.
all right. Well,
That is sure that person's probably maybe done a minor crime or two in their life, but nothing that deserves a death sentence. All right,
all right.
we save those bad things for the bad people,
No,
like Ramsey's dad,
exactly.
the child experimenters.
Well, I'm glad their experiments didn't spread too far, but
Me
we
too.
stopped them in time.
Sure, you don't need help with anything, because well, if there's anything you need on the way to, how quickly can you even get to Quarzam? By the way,
Yeah, depends. I could call Ray. Well,
who's Ray?
my resident druid. She can
Hmm.
take me anywhere I want to go as long as there's a tree. Well, and that depends. There's a couple of places she hasn't been, but I mean,
Oh yeah. Oh, I've been working on that spell. I haven't figured it out totally yet, but I'm so close to it. I got an arrow that has that on it though, so I could technically do it.
no, I believe you'll figure it out one day. Maybe I'll introduce you. Maybe she can give you some sort of tips.
Hmm. You don't gotta call her though. We can just hang out, just us. You can just
Hmm.
we can head to Quarzam by ourselves. I can teleport to Andorra from there. If you don't mind, of course.
Uh, Not at all. Won't your friends be worried, though?
Quinn has bought literally like 25 different sending scrolls. They'll be fine. They can survive
Those,
they can survive a day without me.
rocky phones, things.
No, those were always too expensive. I never bought them.
I don't quite understand how they work, so I haven't.
Me neither. I think it's just like magical waves or something. I don't know. I went into the store, looked through the glass at them, saw the price tag, and then immediately stood by the door of the store and let everyone else do the shopping.
No, money is such a weird subject for humans, isn't it?
Yeah, it's dumb. You get your entire life defined by it. There's no escape.
Well, once you have enough of it, you can just kind of pour it into places, and suddenly the humans smile and thank you. They don't look at you like some sort of freak anymore.
I don't think you're that much of a freak. Just the kind of murderous kind, which, and then Holly will gesture to herself.
What the fuck was that? Sorry.
It's a ghost.
So, no, somebody just dropped something upstairs. Like, dropped like a full ass pan. And it made me jump because it was really fucking loud. Sorry.
Holly say, the weird murderous kind, and then Holly will kind of gesture to herself a little bit. I'm no better.
Yeah.
And Holly will kind of look a bit downtrodden saying that.
Then we're both freaks then. But I
suppose we are.
I like that about us.
Holly once again gets a bit blush and looks away. Yeah.
Noctis smiles and kind of gently, like, as you're walking, kind of wraps one arm gently, kind of like around your shoulder, just not holding you there with any sort of force. More just like a comfortable, like, holding you slightly closer sort of thing. Well, why not head towards the city gates? Sure. Get a little bit of a head start.
Yeah. Of course. I'm gonna be honest. Every second, I'm starting to feel like this, and she'll hold up her left hand, is more and more a wedding ring.
I don't consider it more of a
promise ring. Is that what the kids call it?
Sure. I was.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, at least that's one favor down. At least.
Exactly. You could consider it as a momentum of trust between us. We're two, strange people in this world that understand one another.
Mm-hmm.
On some weird
level. I don't. Yeah. I mean, I've shown a mighty big amount of trust with you already. Would you mind, once we leave the city gates, could I... No, you don't gotta if you don't wanna. Because you're a lacking folk just like Rypley, right? So you got a wolf form?
Oh, you don't want to see that.
Come on now.
I'm serious.
I have seen many horrid things already. Like I have seen horrid things already.
You are going to like me a fair bit less if I would show you that.
Willing to bet on it?
I will bet you all of the gold on my person.
Deal. All right. Well, okay. What am I betting then? Because it needs to be equal to that, but clearly you don't give a shit about the gold. What do you want out of me?
How about a kiss?
Deal. And Holly says that as like her eyes once again dart to the ground. Like, the clear amount of confusion and flusteredness on her face, because and it's very clear that she is like excited that this is happening, but also like, what the fuck? It's Noctis. What is happening?
No, he likes you. This is fun.
Oh god. Oh,
You guys do make it outside of the city walls a little bit. It's familiar, and you can see the tire tracks of where the car was at some point. As you guys leave.
Yes, Holly will also look up at essentially what is happening. Oh god, Ripley's gonna fucking kill me, ain't he?
Well, you just don't have to tell him. You can keep it a secret. He doesn't need to know everything that happens in my life. Oh, yours.
That's true. You should have seen what happened to Quinn.
Oh, was he pissed?
He was so pissed.
Oh,
like pinned against the wall, almost beat within an inch of his life. Like, it was bad.
Oh, that is so good. Yeah. And Quinn was a nice guy, but, take advantage of an opportunity, but didn't really feel anything towards it. I'm just being honest.
Yeah, it's...
Plus, if I took the opportunity, it would upset Rypley, and that was my main goal in it. I had to get back at him somewhat.
Is that the reason you want to date me?
No.
Oh, I thought, okay, yeah, I'm gonna be honest, you still sometimes make me quite nervous. Maybe it's because of your power, both physically, as Holly, like, kind of nods her head, just kind of gesturing at his person, politically, or whatever else, it's...
You're quite powerful too, Just because you're not... Well,
just because I can't rip a man's heart out?
Exactly. But you were able to zombify him and move him around. And there's no way you aren't going to continue to succeed.
I suppose so.
My goal is to keep getting stronger every day. It's something my father told me, and probably the only thing he ever told me that I took to heart.
Yeah. Well, if it makes you feel better, I think you've turned out mighty powerful so far.
Thank you.
And I'm sure you'll get much worse.
And I think you've turned out to be quite powerful as well. And you're only going to get stronger.
Yeah. Hope I can make my grandpa proud.
I bet you already have.
Ain't like I can ask him. Now quit stalling.
As you say that, you see he his arm drops from around you, and you do see him pout a little bit. This was absolutely him flirting with you to stall the conversation. He
puppy dog eyes don't work if you're not in your dog form. Everyone knows that.
All right. Oh, if you get scared, just run back into the city, and I'll let you be. All right?
I mean, unless you turn into literally a giant ball of fire, that probably ain't gonna happen. And even then, your fire ain't as bad as I thought it would be. As Holly kind of fiddles the ring. The ring, by the way, is it because I looked at the hollyhock. So it's like a thorn sort of thing?
No, it's not thorny at all. It literally looks like a small, petrified kind of stem is what it looks like. It's not thorny at all.
Holly will intentionally, picking at it, will sort of druidcraft as she picks at it and will sort of make little thorns on it to just kind of Give it more aesthetics.
Yeah, more aesthetics. Roll a druid
Mm-hmm.
craft roll for me really fast, please. I want to see.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see if you can unpetrify it.
That's a 16.
You begin to shape the stem and whatnot, creating like little details and small. Like you could tell that probably at some point it had. You know how some plants, they're not exactly thorns, but it almost looks like they have like a fuzz on the stem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It looks like this flower eventually had that on its stem, and as you petrify it and you pull those little like furs out, and they kind of sharpen to small thorns around the edge of the ring, creating this sort of like spiky kind of look, which is
Mm-hmm.
kind of nice. But you aren't exactly able to pull a flower out of it. You're just able to shape it.
I'm not looking for a flap. I'm looking for
Yeah.
the thorns. I'm growing like
Yeah,
little thorns,
you're
so it's sort of
growing
the
like little thorny
yeah.
furs around
So
it.
it looks
Yeah.
like little intertwined vines and thorns in the as the twig sort of wraps around itself. As Holly is just kind of fiddling with this as she is looking up at Noctis expectantly.
That just stands like a good 5, maybe 6 feet back. Um, and he kind of sighs. And you see as he kind of like just relax a little bit, as you see his form begin to just amass and grow, and muscle begins to flex, and fur, like this sort of thick, matte black fur, begins to grow over large portions of his body as he grows, already about 6.5 feet tall, suddenly grows to over 8 feet tall. Um, and I need you to make a wisdom saving throw for me, as this large, amassing form, a jaw full of sharp teeth. This, as he takes this form, he immediately
23.
becomes, oh shit, he becomes more and more intimidating. His shadow lolls over you. You can feel the sort of hot breath as he exhales, as you see this large lichen body, this thick matte black fur, and his like sharp, very like red eyes that just are staring at you. Um, and you could see portions of his fur are unkept. And he looks a lot nice. It almost looks like he takes care of his human form a little bit nicer than this. You could see a large portion of the fur around his neck is like almost missing. It's just, you can see almost this like grayish skin underneath. As you can see that like that large scar that kind of covers his throat, is still very visible in this form. And he kind of looks at you expectingly, and when you don't turn and run, he kind of you see his head kind of just like he looks surprised.
Is that it? Wait, that's it? You made this sound like it was going to be like really bad. I'm letting you know. Like I think you have this up a bit too much. I was expecting like some giant grotesque monstrosity or something.
Most people run when they see me. You're the
Yeah?
first person that hasn't run.
I don't think you look that bad at all.
Kind of like looks down, and you see his like you see in that moment like the ears kind of go back a little bit, and you do see the tail begin to wag, as he's been able to keep his composure most of this time, but you see now like now that he's like there's like this uncontrollable element that like as you say that you kind of gets a little giddy a little bit, and you can see it mostly in the way his tail picks up and begins to wag. As he's kept his composure most of this time, but like it's kind of obvious now that like there is almost a genuine feeling. What?
Oh, nothing. I just see now the puppy dog eyes would work really well.
Ugh. Oh, shut up. He kind of turns, and kind of like, reaches over, and he kind of like, there's a second when you could tell he's considering immediately transforming back. But he stays in his lichen form just for a little bit longer, as he continues to walk just a little ways down the road.
Holly will like walk up and like next to him. Wait, hey, come. Could you bend down a sec?
He kind of like bends down, he almost has to like fully like crouch down on the ground to kind of even get eye level with you. Like he's fully balled up at that point.
Holly will then grow like reach into her hair, pull out like a lily, and will grow it so it's much larger than normal, and then put it like behind his ear.
Yeah,
I think that looks wonderful on you. I mean, just so you're aware, lilies do represent death.
I've heard that from the maidens. Or
Yeah.
those who follow her, at least. But you see, as you place the lily, it's once again, like, he relaxes for a little bit, and the moment you do anything, the tail starts going. And Noctis doesn't seem to be fully aware of it, as he just kind of, like, turns his head and just, like, looks away from you for a moment. Like, trying to, like, find and keep his composure. Before he kind of, like, takes a couple steps, almost in, like, a crawl. Like he doesn't, like, quite like how tall he is compared to you. He's like double your height when he stands at his full height.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. He's like double your height. It's like, he's enormous. But no, he kind of takes a couple more steps and you guys begin to walk. We have been going for about an hour and 20 minutes.
Yes. Oh yeah, by the way, and Holly will stick out her hand. Pay up. We had a bet after all, didn't we?
He kind of reaches into his pocket and places into your hand a satchel with, I think it has 5,000 gold pieces and...
Jesus!
It's heavy. This dude's rich, by the way.
Oh yeah, like it drops. Holly. I'm gonna make a strength check to see if I can carry it.
It's probably in platinum. So what would that be? 10?
5,000.
5,000 would be...
So just minus 0, so 500.
500 platinum.
Okay. I got an 11, so Holly's hand just kind of like drops down very visibly as she like, oh, that is much more than I was expecting. I was expecting like, I was expecting like 100 gold or something. What the fuck is that? That is okay.
Platinum. When you rob the rich, they give you a lot of gold just for being in a room with a bunch of people who want to talk about politics.
I was never in the room. I was always made to go sit in the servants' quarters or whatever.
Well, maybe I'll invite you sometime.
I'm letting you know, that is the worst date idea you could ever possibly have.
Oh, but it'd be so interesting.
Okay, maybe if it's taken over the court fully.
Oh, but that would be so much fun, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to see you just work and do
Or
what
maybe
you do best.
Mm-hmm. Or if we did, we could go to Samira, scare the shit out of him. Scare the shit out of. I'm gonna be honest. I don't consider him my dad anymore. He's a piece of shit.
I respect that. Apparently, we all have shitty dads.
Your dad also tried to drown you?
No. Well, he did try to almost massacre our entire race, though, so...
See, that's fucked up. Alright, here. Do you mind if I get on your back and you can sort of... It's much faster this way, ain't it?
Sure. He kind of leans down.
Holly will climb, kind of around his neck, and then will kind of just like put her hands kind of on top of his head and sort of like ruffle his hair a little bit as they are going. What?
Nothing.
Like she's kind of just petting it. What? Is there a problem?
No, I'm just
gonna rip my heart out.
Oh, please! I couldn't. And Yenna walks. The quiet little thump of the tail wags as he walks a little bit further. He just spins ahead towards Sky's arm.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
Alrighty.
Fuck yeah, money.
Money.
Money. All right, you can yell at everyone to get back in here.
Alright. That was fun. Alright.
I need to mute myself so then because they can't know what happened. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I get it. I'm just gonna drag Steven in here. There we go. Hello, we're all in here now.
I'm so happy.
Are we all here? Did anybody get up? Do we have to?
No, I mean,
No.
actually, let's double check.
Oh, hey, I have that video, Steven.
Hey, Steven.
I remember when you had green hair. Oh.
It was blue, and then it died out because of the fucking bleach.
Yeah.
But quick,
That's how
Steven.
blue works.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Steven, are you alive? Steven.
Steven!
He might still
Steven!
be storming. Give him a second.
Okay.
Steven!
But, unmute Steven, please.
What's up?
There he is. All right. Sorry, that took a little bit longer.
Anytime you
than
just
we were-
assume everyone is here and then thinking to check as an afterthought, I have to pause for a few seconds to mess with you.
No, that's fair. All right. Well, I was asking if everybody was here and you weren't responding.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah, but then Jegg was like, "Yeah, everyone's here.
Oh, okay.
Wait,
That's-
we
I
should
didn't
check."
hear- Yeah.
Well,
I
I'm
didn't
so
hear
sorry.
that. I didn't
forgot
hear that. I
Caleb
was
dragged. I
Yes.
forgot that Caleb dragged you.
Look,
I thought you
look,
came on your
I
own.
just like to mess with people. Yeah, Caleb drags me everywhere. Again, I was playing guitar, Jegg.
Oh, hell
I'm
yeah.
not like paying
You were
attention to my
getting
computer
into
whatsoever.
character, Steven. That's what it was. You were getting into character.
Yeah.
No, I was just trying to learn a new song on guitar.
Oh, that too. Well, no, I was gonna make a D&D joke because we're about to play D&D, but it's fine.
It's called just handing. This is an improv game.
All right. So anyway, you four plus Damien, which as you land, the invisibility spell immediately breaks, and he kind of lets go of you, Quinn. As you see, Damien immediately rushes over to like the nearest like sort of like wastebasket, like by the bar, and you just see him like hurl. And he kind of like staggers backwards a little bit, as Damien is pale, like already pretty pale, being like blue, but like you can see just like his eyes are wide and he is physically shaking as he like just curls up there on the floor like 5 feet from you as you all appear in the sort of base kind of like diner bar area of your little homestead. All but Holly.
Cool. I'm going back.
Anybody want to do or say anything?
I think it's instant that Felix goes back. I mean,
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah, that was my understanding too, is we don't have time to say anything.
All right, fair enough. Felix goes. In the meantime, I don't want to go back to Liz. Liz just got a full hour by herself. I'm sorry. I'm gonna like make sure we get to everybody else then first, if that's okay. I'm kind of tired of her. Get out of here. No, I'm kidding. We'll go back to her in a second. So, the other three, as you kind of gain your bearing, immediately Felix is there, takes in that Holly's gone, and then Felix vanishes once again. What do you guys want to do?
Ramsey stares at the paper in his hand, the paper that he's heard Holly mention offhand so many times, and immediately, as his hand is trembling, he's going to shove it into his coat and then move toward Damien. I think he almost knocks over the table as he goes, just crossing the room to stand there beside him, not saying anything yet. But if he wasn't already limping from his newfound leg, then it's gone worse.
He killed Dad.
Damien.
Why? Damien's not looking at you, Ramsey, as he's just like looking at the floor. You can see him crying as tears well up in his eyes. He's just holding onto his head, like pulling at his hair as he just sits there curled up.
I'm right. I'm so sorry.
Why did he do that? Why did that? I don't know what happened. I don't know.
And I think Ramsey just shakes his head and reaches for Damien, grabbing him, holding him in his arms.
Damien wraps his arms around you and just like buries his head in your shoulder, and you can feel him physically shaking. He's too weak to stand at this point, as he's just like shaking and sobbing.
I don't think there's anything else Ramsey can do for several minutes.
Anything else you two want to do? Are you guys okay? Do we want to go back to Felix? I mean,
I don't know, it's kind of hard to say anything without there's somebody fucking blowing a gasket, because he has the right answers. It's not the answers they want to hear, but he has answers.
Yeah.
I mean, I wanted to give Ramsey and Damien like a brief moment, but I did want to talk to more than anything Ramsey.
You can wait a few minutes, and after a little bit, Damien does relax a little bit. You can see he's still sick from earlier, but he looks exhausted more than anything, not really crying anymore. Eventually, he does kind of pull himself to his feet, probably with your help, Ramsey, but and then just kind of goes and like sits in at one of the tables and just kind of like leans, like kind of lays there with his head down and his arms in his hand, like his head in his hands, kind of things. But he just kind of lays there on the table. But so if you wanna ask anything, Quinn.
Ramsey?
What?
I know this isn't probably what you want to hear, but we need to get Damien out of here.
Yes.
I can get him somewhere safe, but the less people that know where he is, the better.
Yes. Yes. What do you need?
I just basically wanted to make sure that I could take him. And you would understand and not try to kill me for it or anything like that.
I think Ramsey looks down at his hands and then at Damien at the table, and he just nods. It is the best. It is best that he is not here.
Cool. In that case, I want to walk over to Damien.
Damien has his like head down. He's resting, at least as best as he can.
Hey, Damien. That was, a lot. You holding up alright? Well, as alright as you can.
He doesn't say anything, but kind of gives you a little bit of a thumbs up. Like he just like raises one hand and gives you a little thumbs up. Like he's okay. Doesn't say anything though.
So, not really a fan of teleportation, it seems.
I don't think I'd ever been teleported until today. It was fine. I mean, I don't know. But what do you mean?
And, you're about to get to try it again.
He kind of looks to you, like kind of looks up at you, Quinn, and kind of as immediately he looks back towards Ramsey. Like he doesn't understand. He wasn't listening to your conversation. What?
I can't guarantee that it's safe here. And, I want to make sure that I get you somewhere that is.
What about Ramsey?
I will find you again.
You'll come with me, right?
Not yet. No, not yet.
You see, he kind of like grasps at the sleeves of his sweater, kind of pulls himself in tighter as he looks down. He doesn't say anything. He just kind of looks down.
Are you, ready to go then?
Doesn't say anything, but he just nods. And Quinn, you can kind of see that, right? Damien has his like eyes shut tightly.
Damien?
He doesn't say anything to you, Ramsey.
I love you with all that I am. I promise I will find a way for us both to go on. I swear it.
He doesn't say anything. He just kind of reaches out towards Quinn.
How long has it been since we all joined up as a party?
Joined up as a party, like as a whole. It has been.
It's like since we first met and started all this.
It has been over a month.
Over a month.
So
Okay,
about
so
a
not
month,
not
month and a
all
half,
that long.
maybe. Yeah.
Cool. Just checking something. Okay. Okay. So it would be within the last 6 months. I've seen Felix or Zareth teleport.
Multiple times.
Can I try to recreate it using an item taken from the desired location?
Okay, I'd allow that. You'd still be taking an exhaustion point.
Yes. I'm just saying, like, because I was looking at the rules of teleport.
Yes,
And
it helps. It helps if you have an item from the location.
Yes.
Okay. What item are you using from the original location?
I mean, so that's the thing, is all of my gear except for the stuff that I already had to replace is.
So what are you using?
I mean, okay, I did not mean like I'm sacrificing an item. I'm just saying, like.
Yeah, but no.
the sake of-
What are you using?
Okay.
You're not sacrificing it, but narratively, tell me what you're pulling out of your pocket. You know, that's what I mean.
Just like my spare set of clothes.
You kind of hold on to like your spare shirt, we'll say. Kind of hold on it and kind of focus a little bit. And Damien's like clutching onto your arm tightly. Like he's a little guy. He doesn't have a great strength modifier, but like he is near crushing your wrist as you kind of try to focus in on the spell. So go ahead and roll me a d100.
Also, that's a point of exhaustion and my highest level spell slot, correct?
Yes, that is it. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just double checking on that. D100.
Dim 70. Good job. Where are you going? Where would you like to be?
Home.
You appear. It's about midday now. And you are standing on this beautiful kind of cobblestone-like staircase in front of this large, elegant mansion. Surrounded by land and that goes far, and you could see the tall spires of Lunaris in the distance, and you can smell the sort of salt in the breeze. And you're home, Quinn. But you see Damien immediately flinches and begins to kind of like squint as he immediately looks very uncomfortable with the bright light. And kind of begins to kind of like hold up and shield his face a little bit. He's like, "Oh my god, it's fucking bright out here. What? Is this what it's really like outside? It's so, I can't see anything." And he kind of begins to like squint a little bit. Damien just looks really uncomfortable, but he's fine.
You'll be able to stay inside for most of your time here, at least, if not all of it. I guess I'll go up to the door. Knock, knock.
You knock on the door and then there's a quiet pause. Before the door is very slowly opened by one of your mothers. I believe this one was. Fuck. God damn it! Which one's which? Sorry.
Quick, open the backstory.
That's exactly it. Because in my brain I know who's answering it, but I don't remember which one the name is. Which one the name is which. There it is. This one would be Eloise Arengard. A human woman with sort of soft kind of greenish hair that's like pulled back slightly into a very nice kind of bun and braid that surrounds it. She doesn't have horns. She looks a lot like you. Kind of has that resemblance. As she opens the door, kind of looks a little bit. She's dressed in very nice, sort of like deep purplish robes. And she goes, "Quinn, oh, it's so good to see you." She reaches out and kind of opens her arms, immediately pulling you into a hug. Immediately pulling in, and it's been so long. Where have you been? And is this, who's this?
I unfortunately won't be here for long. I've been helping some newfound friends with some things, and unfortunately we're not done yet, but this is one of those friends' little brothers, and needs somewhere safe.
Roll a persuasion check for me. Go, Bard.
You know, I'd love to. Okay, there we go.
Persuade your mother.
My character sheet was acting up a little bit, so I wasn't
I'm trying
sure
to
if
remember
I'd be
her
able to.
accent. I practiced it once and then didn't practice it in preparation for this game, which I should have because I knew that this was going to happen. That's fine. 20. She's all right, but I'm going to need an explanation eventually. What might be your name? And she kind of reaches out after, letting go of you, reaches out towards Damien and goes to shake his hand. Damien kind of quietly shakes hers. And my name's Damien Novak. And you see she kind of thinks for a second. She's like, a Novak? All the way from Vespa? I should have known. We don't often see drow around here. Come inside. And she kind of gestures and opens the door to him. And Damien kind of steps inside the large, open sort of corridor of your home. And your mother kind of turns to you. And kind of like looks kind of in almost like in an asking way of like, are you coming inside?
I can't, Mother, but thank you. And tell Mom I said hi. And that I miss her. With both of you.
And we love you. But do come back soon, okay? Or at least give us a call. I mean, I would like some sort of explanation. But I'll ask questions carefully to our new guest.
I did try to send a letter, but apparently it never arrived.
Oh, interesting. Well, I'll go talk to your brother about that. And she kind of, you see her brow just twitch ever so slightly as like she's picked up on something, and she kind of understands the context and is like, I'm gonna go talk to him. Well, do send us another letter. This time I'll make sure it gets to us. All right? Good luck out there.
I will.
She kind of gently does like that mother thing where she gently kind of pinches your cheek a little bit before letting you go. And kind of watches. Oh, you're gonna try to teleport back to Aspen Grove?
Yes, sir.
All right, go ahead. Same thing.
D100. Can I roll a persuasion check instead?
Sadly not.
Persuade you that it succeeds.
Mm-hmm. It succeeds nonetheless. You teleport back into the homestead. A couple minutes later, Ramsey, Damien is no longer with Quinn.
I think Ramsey has been leaning up against the wall, a little bit worried that if he sits down or if he tries to support himself on the table or the counter, that something bad is going to happen. But he turns toward Quinn and he looks at the empty space where his brother was, and he just... I think he frowns.
And be safe.
I know. Thank you. Thank you very much. Oh no. And he looks toward the space on the ground where Felix was when they first got here. It's already been too long.
And when you say that, let's slide cut. Let's slide cut over to Felix. Go ahead, roll me a D100 for teleportation, by the way. Please. We'll start there.
Though.
Yeah, we'll start there.
Sounds good. D100. Oh, sorry. Ignore the other 4.
So just the first one with an 83. I think we can do that. Yeah, with an 83, that succeeds. That's fine. Don't worry about it. It's fine. You immediately teleport exactly where you last remember standing. There's no longer that dome or anything. There's also no body. And no Holly. In this room, as you appear, there is a giant, or like a beautiful, twisted, moss-covered oak tree, like a sapling that has begun to grow and sprout in the center of this sort of in the sort of center, like almost centralized area of where the battle happened. On it hangs the cloak of displacement, just off of one branch, as you see this nice oak tree that is sprouted in the sort of central area. That's the first thing you see, Felix. Covered
Okay,
in
so she's
mushrooms
not
and
even here
moss.
anymore. Okay. I guess he'll grab the cloak. Does he see anything else? Any
Roll an-
hint of where they
roll
could
an-
have
roll an
gone? It's only
investigation
been
check.
a minute.
Roll an investigation check, yeah.
King hell.
Well, they're not here. But the floor is covered in blood.
Okay, are there footprints or anything? If the floor's covered in blood, there's gotta be a trail.
You see some footprints that kind of leading out towards, like, through the kitchen, kind of towards the back of the house. I would say there's probably some footprints there. That's probably when the blood was still wet.
Guess I'll follow.
You follow the
It's probably still wet.
it's not.
I just got. It was
Yeah.
like minutes.
Well, the tree appears to be absorbing some of the blood and covering most of it. And most of the one that's around the outside now, it's very thin. It's not pooled. It's not pooled as consistently anymore, as the body of Rudolph is no longer there. But you do see like little drips of ichor that have now kind of dried over just slightly. Like it's still tacky. It's still like, it's not like dry. Like it's still tacky. You know what I mean? But it's not like wet. Does that, you know what I'm talking about? Anyway, talking about the consistency of blood. Welcome to D&D. Anyway, you follow it out towards the back as you see these little drips of blood followed by like little footsteps leading up to the backyard, where you see
Okay, so
just
if it's
a
tacky,
mound.
that means 2 hours passed.
Does it really? I don't know that.
Yeah.
Okay, it definitely hasn't been 2 hours. It definitely hasn't been 2 hours. Okay, roll another investigation check. You do feel like there is like a weird, you're missing time. I will tell you that, Felix, it does feel like you're missing time in this moment, and that does make you a little anxious.
That's a
Natural 20.
Taylor.
Okay, I will tell you, you have been missing for like a total of like, it has been a little over an hour. Like maybe an hour that you are missing in time. And that doesn't make a lot of sense to you, because normally your teleportation spell would immediately take you back. So why are you missing an hour of time? Like this doesn't make a lot of sense. But you get that sort of sense that something in your magic messed up, and it's messed up you. But you head out to the backyard where you see a mound of dirt. Like something that was recently dug up and then buried. Much like a unmarked grave of sorts in the backyard.
Okay, still no sign of Holly or Noctis?
Just an unmarked grave. But you do notice the footsteps from out here do kind of turn and kind of go back around the house before eventually kind of vanishing a little bit as they dry out. You kind of, with the natural 20, you get the sense that they were here and left. Do you follow? I'm assuming you follow.
I guess so, as far as I can.
You follow them back out, kind of around the front of the house. And you kind of look around the street. You see people walking back and forth and like down the streets. It's fairly busy. There's lots of people around. There's a lot of people around, but at this point, there's no physical trail. No. The natural 20. Holly, can you
Yeah, let's go.
can you make a deception check for me, just like hindsight based? Disadvantage.
Sure.
Just for
Okay.
funsies, because I know we already made one of these before, but
Come on. I can get lower than that. Just kidding.
I love how I see a natural 1.
Why is it? Why? Okay, what the fuck is happening?
I see a natural 20 and a nat 1,
sorry.
and neither of those numbers is a nat 20 or a natural 1.
It was rolling compound instead of normal. So
That
you can
is-
take that 7. So it wasn't rolling properly. It was rolling as if it was like Shadowrun style.
Oh, that's weird. Okay.
So I had to turn that off.
Anyway,
it's good.
so with a natural 20, Felix, as you kind of head out to the main street, for a second you get a little scared because you don't see anything, but then you see little white petals that kind of decorate the streets and are kind of dusted up onto the sidewalks that kind of lead a little bit further into town, closer to where the sinkhole was. And you see this little trail of like little white petals, very similar to the ones that Holly's hair grows whenever she is around you, though when she's around you, they're a little bit more red.
Okay,
But you see
I
those,
guess
like,
I'll follow.
you follow the petals, and you follow them past a coffee shop, like a small coffee shop where you see the owner kind of clearing a table where there was some sort of cake, like some sort of cake and a couple of coffees, and you see that this older drow woman is clearing the table. Roll me another quick perception or investigation. At this point, I'll let you either or, whichever one you prefer.
Okay. I'll just stick with it's a 23.
With a 23, you would immediately recognize one of the seats that of the table that is being cleared in the cafe as you kind of peek inside. It has this sort of light film of spore and moss on one of the seats, which I think should tell you enough about who was here. But the petals keep going further down the street.
I'll follow the pedals as far as they go.
Mm-hmm. They take you towards the front gate, and just a little ways outside, you see, kind of glancing at the snow, as you kind of quickly rush towards the sort of front gate of the things, you see the tire marks and foot marks, and then footsteps that immediately begin crunching into the snow. And you see the two sets, Holly's little boots and these large, sort of almost clawed-like footprints that follow. And they begin to wander a little ways out. And your eyes kind of go up a little bit, and you see just off into the distance, kind of one very large moving figure that's kind of hobbling back and forth, maybe 200 or so feet out at this point. You see this tall figure. Yeah, I'll say 200. I think that's a fair distance.
All right. I'll try to approach dashing, but I want to stealth so he doesn't see me.
Okay, roll stealth check.
All right. Oh, good.
All right. And you begin to dash forward, trying to stay as quiet as you possibly can. You begin to approach. You begin to, sorry, stop texting me. You begin to approach this large figure. And as you begin to move closer and closer and closer, you see this large hulking bird figure leaning forward, and on its back is the large mushroom-capped sort of green dress of Holly. And as you begin to approach, you smell that sort of sharp scent of sulfur, and something in your body just begins to freeze up, and I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
A wisdom save.
Yeah, sadly. As you approach him, this is an effect, status effect, hey.
That's a 15.
Your body immediately tenses with fear as you see this large form, and you are no longer able to approach him.
Good. Can I make a perception check?
Absolutely, you can.
Fuck yes. Okay. God, what's my perception? What's my perception? +4. 17.
You kind of tilt your head back just slightly, as you and Noctis are in the middle of whatever the fuck you guys are saying. And you kind of just glance back a little bit, and you see Felix stood there, and you see him just cut, like, unable to move with fear.
Felix. Holly immediately will sort of jump off of Noctis's back.
Noctis immediately, as you say that, immediately you see he freezes and kind of turns slightly, and you just see the side of this large, sort of torn and scarred maw of Noctis. And you see his eyes look to Felix just for a second before his body shifts back very quickly into that Noctis humanoid form, and you're no longer affected by the fear effect, Felix.
Holly will immediately run up to Felix. Oh my god, are you okay? Oh, you look like shit. Oh my god, okay. Oh. And Holly, I want to intentionally do this deception check. I'm going to do a deception check to hide my emotions because Holly in this moment is super duper happy to see Felix, but I need to hide that for obvious reasons. Because, obviously. Oh, fuck. It just immediately Holly sees that, and like the white flowers in her hair just become like bright red as she like looks, and it's just like, oh my god, are you okay? You look like shit. You came. Oh my god. Okay. Oh. Okay. And Holly's just going to start like looking over Felix, who is very fucking exhausted.
I'm fine.
You clearly are not. Don't. No. You are not. Oh my god. Okay.
What are you doing with Noctis?
We were having a little talk.
I was going to take her home. Figured you wouldn't have the energy to come and collect her. That I was proven wrong.
You need to get you home. You look awful.
I'm alright.
Don't fucking lie to me. Don't lie to me. Look at yourself. You're doing the thing again where you push yourself. You're human. Remember?
More than aware.
Well, I guess it's time for me to go. He kind of walks back towards you just slightly, heading back towards Vesper. And you, Felix, you would see as he kind of gently brushes his hand over Holly's shoulder. Holly, I'm going to message you something quickly, and then and you would see Noctis brush his hand over Holly's shoulder and he just turns and he begins to walk back towards Vesper. Doesn't say anything else. Lets you be.
Given Noctis's track record with what he did with Quinn, I think Felix would try something here. Can I try casting Remove Curse?
On Holly?
Can I recognize what he is casting right now? Or that he's casting something?
Are you casting it on Holly or on Noctis?
On Holly.
Okay. Go ahead, roll a Arcana check, Holly, to try and recognize the spell. Do you have this spell slot, Felix?
It would be Upcast.
So, Holly, you are looking at him, and you watch as he's trying to you recognize he's casting a spell.
Stop. Fucking. I immediately smack his hand. Stop. Stop. No, stop. Hey. You are not in a
Complete
fucking.
spell.
No, shut up. Stop it. You're not. Stay for this right now. Please. I'm fine. Look at me. I'm fine. I'm gonna grab his hand that he tried to cast the spell with both of mine. Stop. Just okay, stop. It's okay.
Does he
I'm here.
complete the spell or not?
Roll an Arcana check.
All right.
Straight Arcana.
Nope.
13. It fumbles, so you don't take a point of exhaustion at this point because Holly stopped you from casting it, so you don't take a point of exhaustion. But you're already tired from the previous casting of spells, so you're like not even sure if you could cast it.
I don't know what you're doing right now, but please stop. Yeah. Oh my God, you look terrible. Okay, let's.
Fine.
You clearly are not. You are dying. Can I do a medicine check to see how close this man is to death right
Yes.
now?
I'm fine.
Don't fucking lie to me. That's a
I'm a little
29.
sleepy.
He's a little eepy. Oh shoot, I forgot to mention. Fuck, hold on. Let me just quickly roll that die now. Oh fuck, I totally forgot about that. Hi, sorry, this is Caleb being a bad DM for a moment. Give me one
That's
second,
okay.
guys. Hold on.
For a moment?
Shut the fuck up, Steven. Shut the fuck up. I'm gonna
Rock's
kick your
falling,
You know I
Character.
love
I'm
you.
gonna Frostball Quinn dies. I just spilled water everywhere. No. Okay.
You are the face of grace under pressure.
14.
Aspen Grove, more like Aspen.
So everybody who was teleported, so everybody but Holly, takes 16 points of force damage when you were teleported.
Oh.
Oh damn! I don't have that. Not gonna get that resistance.
No, yeah, this is when you were teleported.
I know,
So-
but also just with my leveling plan, I'm not gonna get it.
Oh yeah, sorry.
It's all good. It's all good.
As you get the and it doesn't feel good. Anyway, so just feel free to take that damage. So Felix has taken some damage, and he is you're 2 levels of exhaustion in right now.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's a bad.
It's not that bad.
It's bad.
Okay,
It's bad.
Okay.
Stop and look at yourself for one goddamn second, please. I'm fine. Just,
Did he curse you or not?
I don't think so. I feel fine. Just go home, please.
If I look over Holly, is she cursed?
There's no. You remember when Quinn was cursed? There was a noticeable mark, on the sort of like left side of his chest. Like there was a crest that was like burned into him, but it didn't show up until the morning after. So as of right now, there's no way to tell if Holly's been cursed or not. You would have to wait. You would have to wait until the crest burns itself in.
Just, okay.
I don't think I want to do that.
Hey,
I wanna
okay.
try
Hey,
again.
stop. No, stop. Hey, how about this? Teleport us home. That's it. All right, just take us home. I just want to go home right now, please. Please.
Mm. Fine. Then I remove the curse.
Yes, after you get a bit of rest.
No, when we get back. And
I
he
mean,
teleports
okay.
them back.
I don't even know if I'm cursed yet.
Better safe than sorry.
You should be safe. Okay. You should be safe and not sorry. Okay.
Alright, he'll teleport them back.
All right, roll D100 again.
Absolutely.
Another 6.
No, more damage. Score. It's a 73.
You successfully teleport back. And Ramsey, Quinn, and Rypley, there's a good hour when Felix and Holly do not reappear.
Over the course of that hour, I want to say that Ramsey absolutely burnt his last sending scroll attempting to contact Felix, and above table, knowing that there's that time difference, I don't think he got a response.
Yeah, you kind of feel the magic kind of fizzle out a little bit. and that makes you even more anxious. Like there's something stopping that communication to Vesper.
Okay, I think once they get back, Felix is trying to remove curse again.
Before you do, Quinn and Ripley, is there anything you guys want to do for like an hour?
This, like, every, like, since getting back, Ripley kind of just stares at Ramsey and Damien, and then when he leaves, he, like, the eyes trail away, but, like, every so often they end up just coming back to Ramsey, and he kind of is just giving him just a look.
Ramsey is sitting at the table. He has one hand, honestly, probably over his chest, just holding his side. The other is gripping Holly's will. And I think he just slowly lets his eyes move toward Ripley. He's not wearing his goggles. He's not wearing his mask. He's just... He looks so tired. What?
What if we put the fucking playing card here? Hide. Please. I fucking hate you. I hate you. I hate you.
Stayed on
I
the
hate
screen
you.
the whole
I hate
time.
you. I hate you. I hate you.
Oh shit, my water.
Oh, we're all spilling water.
No, I had the lid on. I was just worried.
Alright.
It doesn't going to give you a response. He kind of just looks away after you acknowledge it.
He's been... And at this point, he's not talking to Ripley. He's talking to Ripley and Quinn in this quiet tavern. There has been more than enough time for Felix to respond. And he's not. And knowing Holly, she would have found a way long ago if she could have. These are her final wishes. But I don't know if I want to read them. So, if you'll forgive me for being blunt, what do you two think?
I think knowing those two, it could be any number of things. And I'd rather not jump to just the worst conclusion. If you're wrong, I'm not sure Holly would want that read before.
He nods his head for a long time. And Ripley.
I think you're overreacting.
Ramsey's going to stare. He's going to take the parchment. And he slides it off of the table, still in his hand. And sort of just slumps over for however long they have left. I fucking hate the waiting game.
Oh, were you not taught patience when you were younger?
Oh, I was. That does not mean I had to enjoy it. Are you okay?
You know, so, you know what? Maybe I'm not alright. Maybe because your blooming dead thought that I was some kind of infamous traitor to my entire clan, so he decided to choke slam me so hard that I ended up in a different dimension and was trapped for Jaeger knows how many hours in a room with no way of escaping. And now it may be seeing the way you have concern for your little brother, and seeing the way that mine acts around me just maybe pisses me off just a little bit.
I'm very sorry. You are a much better brother than he deserves. As long as you are with us, I am with you. Whether it is my father or your brother, you have my blade.
You are a real piece of work.
What?
I don't know, there's... Did you ever see what other people's lives have been like up until now? I mean, see, you said I don't know, have you ever seen it from somebody else's perspective, that not everybody grew up in the same way that you did?
I thought I did.
Now you and any other wealthy person, they grew up with a nice house and a caring family. Now you didn't have to learn how to fight to survive. You learned it just for fun. I can't count the amount of times that I've been nearly killed when I was younger. Just I honestly don't know what to say to you anymore. It's just seeing other people have something that you always wanted kind of just set me off.
Yes, that is fair. I would say sorry, but I don't think you want that. And truly, I wish I knew what you wanted. I have been trying to outstretch a hand toward you for quite some time, Ripley. Please know that I see that the warrior that you were forced to become. I respect it. And I see so many great things for you. I'm sorry that I am not the person you are looking for.
Are you traumatized by seeing what happened to your dad? Are you sad to see everything you saw your parents say is gone? Upset that you don't know when you'll see your brother again?
Yes,
Is this the first time you've experienced this level of pain?
I don't know how to answer that question.
Of course you don't. Because you didn't have to see both of your parents get killed in front of you, and then have your brother try to kill you next.
Is that truly all I am to you? Just a nobleman who hasn't experienced quite as much. I haven't felt quite that amount of pain. Because let me tell you, no. I have been very fortunate in the respect that I have had both of my parents and my sibling up until now. And I have had their love for quite some time. The image of that family shattering in my mind, it shatters me just as well. I have experienced my fair share of hardship, and I've had that delusion shaken before. I truly cannot tell you that I've experienced more than you have, or less than you have, or the same. That is unrealistic, and I refuse to waste the energy attempting to. What matters is that I feel, and you feel, Ripley. I see it every day, and I just thought that maybe we could make something more of this. If you see me as entitled, then yes, fine, I am entitled and I am sorry. If you see me as weak, then yes, I am weak and I am sorry. Tell me what you need me to do and I will do it, but please do not stand there and tell me that I am not worth this. Everything that I am feeling, it is mine. And I refuse to let anything or anyone take that away from me.
I can't tell you what you need to be. That's something that you have to decide. I chose the way that I want to be. Jeez, that sounded British almost. Quinn chose the way he wants to be. Everyone chooses their own way. Something molds you to a different path the way that it did to me, then let that happen. Let yourself grow off of whatever you choose to let yourself grow off of. Prove to everyone else, to anybody you meet, that you can be more than just what people perceive you are.
Okay. Okay. And he's gonna stand up. He's gonna hold his hand out toward Rypley.
Are you Mr. Fantastic? Because I'm on the other side of the room.
He's going to slowly but surely walk across the room to Rypley. I will do what I must. You have my word. Does he take it?
Yes, but can I do something?
I'll allow it.
This is also a question to Caleb. There's something that I want to try.
I don't know. What do you want to do? What do you want to do?
Ripley is going to. Yes, he'll take your hand, and then immediately tighten heavily, and I'm going to try to throw you over my shoulder onto the table.
Oh, okay.
You can compete against this, but
Yeah.
if you choose to fail, that's on you.
I feel like, yeah, that would be acrobatics, right?
Yeah,
Is it athletics or
acrobatics. Acrobatics to athletics versus Ripley's athletics or acrobatics.
I mean,
So athletics
why
versus athletics. I know what it's
why-
gonna be. I know
my
what the
plus
rules
2
are.
acrobat.
I
All
think
right.
it's Ramsey keeping his.
It's your-
composure,
keeping your
his feet on the
footing.
ground. Yeah.
22.
And
12.
I'm actually going to do a fun little thing for the first time since our level up. And I'm going to expend a lucky point.
Okay. Well.
Okay, that's, you know what? It's all narrative. It's all narrative.
He's just gonna trip your footing and throw you over the table. Just over his shoulder.
Ramsey takes it. Doesn't
Never
even
let
so
you-
much as wait.
Lesson 1, never let your guard down. You failed that lesson already when you decided to heal me. Never let your guard down. You'll know, or else somebody will end up taking advantage of that. He says, being like an inch away from your face.
I think something about the way Ramsey sees Ripley has changed.
They're gonna stand you up.
He accepts the help.
Look down at the watch that doesn't exist. What time is it?
It's time for Felix and Holly to appear, and they kind of immediately, as you're helping Ramsey off the table, you hear the bamf kind of noise as the two appear in the sort of centralized chamber of the homestead. Felix looking like absolute garbage.
Before I let Holly go, or before Felix lets Holly go, can he try to cast that remove curse spell one more time?
Sure.
Can I see that he's casting the same spell that he was trying to cast before?
28, Caleb.
Okay.
Fucker.
You could try to stop him. Okay, but the 20. Oh, okay, well, and then I'm remembering what Holly's modifier is. Roll a natural 20.
Haha.
Go ahead.
Roll a
Okay.
natural 20. Do it. You
Alright,
have to get a
what-
20.
All right. So what
Is
am I
literally
rolling?
the only way.
What am I rolling?
An Arcana check.
Great. Okay. Cool. Nope.
Nope. You kind of are there staggering yourself as you feel Felix's hand. Do you just like place it on her shoulder? Or
Yep.
like you just kind of gently place your hand on your shoulder, and you feel that sort of warm pulse of magic kind of wash over you for a second.
Hear of the shoulder touch.
You fucker.
Nothing
No.
appears to happen.
What are you doing? You look.
Nothing appears to happen.
Ramsey, are you alright? We're back.
Okay.
And Ramsey's gonna just bolt across the room and to just brace them both.
Welcome back.
Welcome
Good
back.
to be. Yeah, Ari's fuck. Yeah, you know what I mean.
I am so glad you are still here.
Yeah. You read the will, by the way?
No,
You didn't?
not yet.
Oh. Have it back
Right.
then?
Ramsey is already pushing it into your arms. Absolutely.
No, Holly will take it and just like tuck it into her hair. Yeah. I'm fine. I'm gonna go.
If you need time to decompress, you should take it.
Yeah, and you go get some fucking sleep right now. All right? This is non-negotiable.
I will rest in time.
In time, I think you mean, yeah, only if that time is in 2 fucking minutes. Go.
I think Ramsey is going to hold his arms out to Felix and to Holly, honestly. He is offering upsies.
Holly will not
I think
take
he
it.
sees it as just a hug, and it's just like, oh, this poor guy. Been through so much.
I mean, I'm sure Holly wouldn't realistically, but Felix accepts it then? I mean,
Felix will accept it, yeah. Dude just saw
Right.
his father get murdered. If he needs a hug, he'll give it.
Great. You hug for a few moments, and then he's going to sweep you off your feet and start carrying you upstairs.
No, what is
you
And then he
this?
judo
You
throws
know
him.
how it goes. You need to go to bed. Like now.
I am fine.
No.
We need to get like a spray bottle whenever he says that. It is clearly not fine.
Look, there's more important things to be talking about.
Every
here.
time you do a self-care, we'll give you a banana.
I'm not a. And he like looks over to Rypley for a moment and then doesn't finish the sentence.
Wolves don't eat bananas, mate.
I don't think he was
Not
going
what
to
I
say.
meant.
Right.
Look, you can't bribe me with food.
I will attempt it. Ramsey's
Yeah,
gonna.
let's just get some rest.
Yeah,
You all were through much worse than I did.
I need you alive.
Ooh, can I do a stealth check real quick?
Sure.
I wanna-
just
I'm-
for
I wanna-
for Rypley, for your question, it is pushing like 3 to 4 p.m. right now. So it's not
Okay.
like night, but it's like
Okay,
it's
no,
like
that-
late afternoon.
No, that's fine.
Okay. Sorry, I just wanted to
I
also tell
just
you-
needed a time.
Yeah, just to help everybody out, kind of tell everybody what's going on. Hey, thank you for the raid. Anyway, sorry. Sorry.
I want to do a stealth check real quick for Holly.
Yeah, absolutely, go for it.
Because I want Holly's going to be fiddling with a very specific thing, stealthily.
Please, I'm not ready to do it.
14.
Okay.
I will rest easier if I know you are all alright.
I'm fine.
Insight.
I don't need a deception. Actually, I will, because fuck you.
You're gonna insight? Okay.
I'm gonna deception
So
check that.
roll an insight check, yeah.
All right, I'll try.
You have
That's gonna be 26.
you've got disadvantage. Roll again.
All right.
You've got like double disadvantage. But like, okay, anyway, that's yeah, sure. 26
No, you were
is
saying?
fine. 26 is fine.
Holly seems extremely overwhelmed with everything that is happening. Um, on top of that, Holly is fiddling with her finger a lot, and is clearly like really confused and doesn't understand. There are countless things going on, like flying around Holly's head right now, and she doesn't know how to process really any of them. As the entirety of tonight is sort of still hasn't exactly sunk in yet, as Holly seems just very much out of it.
She's
Um,
fiddling with her finger. Is there something on her finger?
did you fucking pass that? Did you pass that 14 stealth check? Huh?
I've got a passive insight
no, this would be
and a
perception.
passive perception.
What's the perception?
My passive perception?
Mm-hmm.
My passive perception's a 16.
Oh, yeah.
There's like
never
a
mind.
stick. There's like some like reddish wood stick that's like tied around her finger.
Holly, what is that?
I can't say. Holly sort of like looks out the window with this like sort of very blank stare on her face, like she fully doesn't understand what's going on. Like it fully is just now kind of hitting her of like, what the fuck is going on? No, it's I can't talk about it.
You talk about
And
what
Mhm.
happened.
Holly will get up and start heading towards her room. I can't. I'm sorry. I can't talk about it. It's there.
Willie, please wait.
It goes without saying that Ramsey puts Felix down.
Holly, may I see your hand?
Holly clutches it and then holds it closer to her chest.
Please.
No, you're bad enough already. I'm fine.
Let me see.
Oi. Even if she says, even if everything is fine, give us some spice. Can't just go through something bad and then get badgered on it. He looks at Ramsey kind of regretfully.
Oh,
I
Felix.
think Felix gives Rypley like a stink eye for a second. Like
Felix,
if he
by the way.
wants to say something, he is biting back venom and then just doesn't say it.
Felix, keep the coat, by the way.
This is yours. I have no use for this.
I don't either. Not anymore. Holly will attempt to walk towards the stairs, like sort of sliding past everyone.
You could
I can't talk about it. I'm sorry. There are multiple reasons why I can't, and will look directly at Rypley. I can't. Look at Rypley, look at Felix, then we'll look to Ramsey, then Quinn. I can't. And then we'll look down at her finger. Who at this point she has basically wrapped her hand around her finger, so you cannot see anything on it. Except you would probably see a very light, just very small trail of blood coming out from underneath her, the closed fist around her finger. I'm going upstairs. And Holly will just leave and go upstairs. If if no one stops her.
No, I'm not stopping. I'm like holding my hand out, like, yeah, go on. Like he's not.
I know, I know, I know you
If
fucking
anyone
won.
tries to stop her, he really will physically impose himself.
I think
Like, as Holly is also leaving, she is going to cast Pass Without a Trace, and I'm going to do a full stealth check.
Okay, go for it.
oh,
Because fuck you guys. None of you guys get this Pass Without a Trace, by the way. It's only Holly.
of
It's a
course.
25. Get fucked, all of y'all.
I think as she goes, Ramsey is going to look toward Felix. Give her time, please. And give yourself the time you need.
Mhm. Oh, by the way, can I send a picture of what the ring looks like?
Yeah, sure, if you want.
Okay.
Oh no.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'll write a text for you. There you go.
I love that so much.
Holly's going to go upstairs, kind of go into her room, and then I fully am going to druidcraft the door shut. So, like, just basically covering the hinges and the entire frame of the door completely, so it's just wood entirely. And then Holly is going to sit in her bed and just be extremely quiet for the rest of the night.
All right.
Not really going to say anything. As Holly is still sort of clutching her ring finger on her left hand. She's just kind of clutching it. Still a little bit of blood, as it's probably stabbing into her hand a little bit. As she just kind of is offhandedly fiddling with it. So that's all Holly's going to do for the base. Even though it's like 3 or 4, Holly is just mentally not there right now.
It's been a long day, all things considered.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of you need rest. So, if you want to call it an early night, you're more than welcome to head back to your rooms.
It's like, nah. Felix stays up to spite now.
Ripley's gonna just go for a walk, actually.
That sounds nice.
Sure.
Oh, what does Quinn
Um,
do? Sorry. No, I mean, you do your thing. I didn't mean to interrupt. I thought we were just saying.
No, he's just gonna like pull his scarf up and then but you notice his scarf actually has the hood at the end of it, so like it covers, like it's kind of like propped up over his neck and everything. And, like you can barely see his face, but his ears stick out of the hood. There's little holes on the side.
Thank you. All right.
Character peak character
Alright.
design.
Ramsey? Quinn, please.
Before he does his thing, I think Grant is going to head to Felix's room and just knock on the door frame, assuming he's there.
He didn't go to his room.
Okay. He peeks around, noticing that he's gone, and I think he's gonna leave a note. And then I'm
He
gonna
never
go
left
to
the living room.
He never left the living room.
He is standing firmly in that spot in between the chairs and the stools.
Oh, okay. Ramsey walks down the stairs thinking he's being so, and it's just, oh. Hey, Felix.
Yeah. What's up?
You look your age, if you catch my drift.
What's that supposed to mean?
So fucking insulting.
No, like the dragon one, not like the human, but I mean, you look dead tired.
Why, thank you.
What are you even doing, Felix?
Thinking. At the moment.
Mind if I inquire about what exactly?
You know, I'm not really sure at this point.
I have to go, but I just need to ask you. Surely you can recognize that you would be more effective if you were well rested and prepared. Why can't you take care of your mind and body? I just don't see how you expect to take care of those you care for when you yourself are only functioning at a quarter capacity.
Don't function normally, regardless. I see no difference.
What?
I suppose you're right. Standing here doing nothing isn't it? I'll work on things. And he'll start to walk up to his room.
Okay. We don't have to do it today. But Ramsey is leaving to see Zeska.
Cool. Because you said that you wanted to leave a little earlier because you got things to do, Jegg. Because you're not at home right now. So
I appreciate.
I don't want to keep you. If you want to,
Sure.
I think if you want to like bounce and just say like Ramsey sleeps in tomorrow morning, like we
Okay,
can just do that. Like you
Yeah,
sleep in. You sleep,
I think-
boy.
He should sleep in. I do think he's going out to see Zeska first. But no,
Okay.
yeah,
Do you
I'm gonna
do you
duck
want
out.
to do the Seska thing then? We can do the Seska thing now if you want to roleplay that out.
You know what? Sure. Let's do that.
Okay. So we'll do the Ramsey thing first if that's okay with everybody else. And then because
Sounds
you want to leave early and I don't want to like keep you too long because I know you're on vacation. So yeah, you can find your way up into the more local district. It's probably pushing like 5 or 6 p.m. now. It's already dark. Like it's already very dark. But you make your way up into the sort of politics and political district. Kind of meander your way around until you find Seska's house. You haven't been here before, I don't think. But I mean, it's easy enough to research and figure out where these sort of very powerful figures live. Not to mention that you have a good rapport with him, and if a guard were to ask why you're around there, even being honest, they'll go, "Oh yeah, okay, chill, whatever," and then just let you wander by. His lights are on inside, and you can hear like a soft sort of radio kind of playing inside. Playing just like a very relaxing, what's the instrument called? No.
A guan.
What?
Quiet.
What is it called? Yes. I'm like looking to like Liz and Alycia. Help! What is it called? I know what it looks
Told
like.
you.
What is it?
It's a guan.
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 One name.
Guanying. Guanying. It's this sort of like large sort of string instrument. You hear this music kind of playing just subtly through the door as you approach. You can knock.
Hello?
Do you knock?
No, that's him. He knocks, of course.
Okay.
But he's also saying hello as he does so.
Okay. Yeah, you do. There's a couple of minutes, and you hear the shuffled footsteps as the door opens, and you see the sort of tall, very elegant face of Seska kind of look down at you. He has like a small apron kind of tied around his waist, and he's wearing like sort of fuzzy house slippers, as he was not expected guest. And he goes, hello, Ramsey.
Hello.
What brings you here? I was just making dinner. Please come
yes.
inside. It's cold out there. And he kind of opens the door, letting you step inside.
Ramsey does so, and I think Is there a coat rack?
Yeah, there is like a small coat rack by the door.
I think this is somewhat unusual if they're not at home, but I think Ramsey is going to take off his coat, set it down. His silhouette becomes, well, it's still dark because we all know how Ramsey dresses, but it's a lot less imposing.
Thank you. I do appreciate it.
No worries. It's least I can do for a friend. Well, what brings you here? Wasn't expecting guests.
Another friend. Or, well, more than a friend for you and I both.
Yeah, there's like a second that you say that and he doesn't seem to get it, and then like a second pass and you see Seska's face just like his cheeks go just slightly pink and he goes, "You're talking about Seraph? Okay,
I am
sorry."
talking about Seraph, yes.
Yes, okay. Well, you could have just started with that. What about him? Is he all right?
For now. I think you and I both know that he is very reckless, and his current state is not helping.
Just get into those drink things again.
It is not about substance, it is about overexpending himself.
What's changed?
I need him alive. Very desperately, and you do as well. If there's any way that I can help him get stronger to maybe catch up so he is not putting his body in debt day after day. If you can help me help him, I will be in your debt.
You see for a second, Seska his eyes kind of, like he was looking kind of off, thinking and kind of processing, but as you kind of say something about a debt, his eyes immediately flicker to you, and you see for a second they look much more reptilian, before they kind of settle, and Seska kind of shakes his head a little bit. Well, be careful with your words, but of course. I know we both care for him dearly. Let me see. There might be something I could do to give him something. Normally, he would be here to discuss these with me, but obviously something has happened, and you stay here. I'll be right back. You see, he kind of wanders back into like the main living space, where you see kind of above the fireplace is this very beautiful, elegant looking mirror. And you see Seska begin to just like, he takes a step and you see he steps on almost like an invisible like step, and he takes a couple of steps upward before he reaches into the mirror, and you almost see like liquid. It kind of wraps around his hand. And then he kind of leans his head in and begins to just like push himself through that sort of magical surface before he completely vanishes from sight, Ramsey leaving you alone in his house. And you can kind of smell the sort of scent of like this sort of like sweet kind of like almost like a sweet sort of like ham and potatoes that are being roasted for his dinner. You can kind of smell that in the air. And there's a couple of minutes.
Ramsey's gonna go make sure he didn't leave the oven on.
Yeah, you can. The oven is definitely on. You can go turn it off.
No.
Yeah, you go turn it off. And a couple minutes pass by before you hear the kind of like almost bubbling kind of noise as Seska kind of sort of appears out of the mirror and kind of takes a couple of steps, kind of stumbling a little bit before he kind of rights himself in his living room. And in his arms are a couple of like very tightly wound scrolls and folded pieces of paper. And he kind of begins to kind of like open them one by one and kind of look them over. And he kind of goes, here, give these to him. He'll know what they mean. Do you read Draconic?
I'm so glad that you asked. Ramsey does not, in fact, read Draconic.
Cool, so you
Actually-
cannot read what is written on these papers. But he hands you like a variety of different like scrolls and things that are all kept together. As well as this like small sort of like jar of kind of like a kind of dark, kind of bluish purple like wax. And he hands that to you as well. I hope you'll know what this means, or at least figure it out. He's smart, but
Yes.
if he's in the state that I believe he is in, you see Seska just kind of sigh, and there's like that sort of like that sort of like strain of like those like stress marks like in his brow. Don't give these to him until he's a little bit better, or else he'll stay up too long trying to study them and perfect them and everything, and it's just gonna make more of a mess. Make sure he takes care of himself first, and this will be a treat for when he's better.
Yes. Yes, I think that is perfect. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no worries. And tell him he needs to come over. I haven't spoken to him in a little while, so.
Yeah, I will do that, yes.
You're a good friend,
Right.
Ramsey. Oh. Well. Seska kind of says that and then kind of looks to you like, or like, because you said more than a friend earlier, and Seska's now kind of processing that information, and it's just kind of looking at you like, are you and him like,
No,
like
friend
that?
presently,
Oh,
yes.
okay. Well, I don't know what your relationship is, but I can't judge. I also have a messy past, so. Is there anything else you need?
How are you?
I'm doing well.
Good, good. I hope that Luca has been well.
Oh, he's been fine. He's staying with his mother tonight, so I don't need to worry about that. But you don't look as well. You just come out of a fight recently.
Afraid that my father has just passed.
Oh. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that.
Thank
Oh.
you.
Well, my condolences. I hope you'll be alright. You should rest up as well then.
I will. It was just, it was nice to see someone's father today, if that makes sense. So I'd say I'm feeling better already.
Well, I'm glad I could help somewhat. You're always welcome back if you want a cup of tea or something. When I'm around. I can't promise I'm always here, so. Yeah, you know where to find me.
Yeah, that I do. And you, at least it sometimes, know where to find us.
That I do. You walk around quite loudly. I think everybody in Andorra knows where you are most of the time.
Ramsey's gonna get his coat and then sort of give the look like, God, Holly's plus 10 to stealth just can only do so much. Gonna give a little nod and bow out.
Alright. You bow out and head back home, I assume. Unless there's something else you wanted to do?
I think he's going to creep back toward Felix's. Leave a gift basket, but it's wrapped up very much a do not open until Christmas vibe.
What is this?
Or Felix, are you sure you're awake?
I think he's awake.
I'll tell you.
What are you? Okay, so in the meantime, sorry, what was Felix getting up to?
I think he was okay. So you know that thing that people do when they feel the need to stay awake because they have to be productive. It's like revenge, kind of like that vibe. That
Yeah, no.
like they didn't do what they wanted in the day, and it's like a punishment. You have to get something done before you get to rest. Like you have to do something right.
Yeah, fair enough.
So I imagine he's trying to study something.
You're like you're like there's like a book open on you, but you haven't even been able to read past the first page.
I think he's read the same sentence for the last hour.
Yeah, so Ramsey, you can kind of walk in.
Well.
What's that?
Well, I figured if you had a compensation of sorts, perhaps you would be more willing to do as I request and take care of this physical body that you find yourself. Well,
Compensation?
if you
What's in the
sleep,
basket? Right?
you only need to find out if you sleep through the night.
Tell me now.
I will tell you in the morning, or you can find out for yourself.
He'll put the book that he was attempting to read down, and he'll reach out to Ramsey and do the give me hands.
You can roll to persuade with advantage.
No, you fully have disadvantage. You have disadvantage.
I'm teasing.
Give me the basket.
I'm teasing. If they were still dating, advantage. No.
Give me the picnic basket.
No, Felix
No.
fully has disadvantage. You are EP. EP man.
Oh
the
yeah,
picnic basket.
exhaustion.
No. If you
Give
go
me.
to bed, if you go to bed,
Give me.
go to bed.
Give me.
No. Oh my god.
Give me.
11.
With an 11
You
total.
can see the dark bags under his eyes. He's like a shade paler than he was yesterday.
Give.
And I'm just gonna hold it under his arm. Walk up to Felix. I think he's gonna open up Felix's covers.
Climb in, please. You know what? It's for the best, I think.
Fine. Will you stay with me then?
What?
Will you
I-
stay with me?
I think he looks toward the door for a moment. And then back at Felix.
Yes. You have my word.
Good. He'll sit down in the bed and he'll like pat next to him.
Ramsey will take his coat back off and then sit down.
Good.
Good. All right, thank you.
All right.
Right?
If
All
I
right.
promise to rest, do you promise to tell me how you actually feel about the situation?
What do you mean by this situation?
All of it. I feel you haven't been fully You've taken this eerily well, considering all that's happened. Are you really okay with all of this?
To be honest with you, I do feel that my reactions are not what they ought to be. and that is gone from concerning me to scaring me. I feel devastated, but I also feel a certain numbness. What I can't, it is hard to describe.
I feel like numbness is a common sign of.
Yes. Yes, it is. Before I met you, I felt that numbness quite often. Obviously, I love my family. I have loved my family quite a bit, but my time in Vesper could oftentimes be less than stimulating. And then even getting onto the road, it was very strange. Like swimming with no land in sight, but what I can say is meeting you the first time, and then meeting you again, Norwell, meeting Zareth and Aspen Grove, has made that numb feeling so much further away.
That sounds like a good thing.
Yes. Yes, you are a good thing. Things are hard, and I am not completely well, but I know that I will be okay.
I'm glad to hear it.
I hope you can say the same one of these days.
I'm sure he will.
Just he, not just he. Not just Felix. Zareth.
I told you before, my staying here is only 10. I made a promise. I always keep.
I think Ramsey's gonna let his fingertips trace Zareth's knuckles.
It is not about promises. It is as I said to you, I swear that I will make sure that Felix gets out of this in one piece, but as far as I'm concerned, you have become one of those pieces.
I'll do what I can to stand. Apologies for worrying you.
And I think he laughs at that.
You know, I really appreciate the apology. I was not expecting that out of your mouth. No offense. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Of course.
Okay, now go to bed.
Fine. I'll be productive tomorrow.
I know you will be.
If Felix goes to bed, Ramsey doesn't necessarily have to sleep. I mean, Drow don't have to sleep. They could just have visions all night, but I think he does fall into a deep sleep.
Okay. I love this. I don't know what this is. I love this. I'm a big fan. All right. Is there anything Quinn or Rypley wants to do before you guys?
I went for a walk.
You went for a walk. Okay, Quinn, is there anything you want to do? You haven't spoken in a little while.
I mean, I was going somewhere, but
Okay, well let's go Rypley then. Let's go sorry. I'm trying to like scatter around. Steven hasn't said anything in a while and I want to make sure that we're all taken care of. You good, Steven?
Yeah, I'm good. I don't mind waiting.
Okay. All right. So, Ripley, you go outside for a little bit of a walk. Where you heading exactly?
He's gonna go and get some fucking food because he hasn't eaten.
Yeah, you can easily go find like a
I'm
nice
gonna-
like bar or tavern.
Oh, I'm
somewhere.
gonna go to a very specific bar, and I think you know where I'm going.
Are you going back to the outside?
Yes, because at least I know I can. I'm just gonna go there.
You head all the way out of Andorra and into the outside where you head to Kids Bar. You can head into like the familiar kind of rocky wooden framework, and inside there's a couple of people in there at this hour, snacking, eating food, whatnot. You see that sort of silvery kind of pearly white dragonborn behind the counter serving drinks and whatnot. And you see Cat kind of quickly run up to the counter, kind of lean over and whisper something to her. And you see that dragonborn, she kind of giggles a little bit and then kind of waves Cat away. And Cat just kind of like batters off. And Cat's eyes kind of turn and stop. And she kind of sees you and she smiles. She goes, Ripley, I didn't know you were back in town. Hey, how
You're still very much like I have not rested. I still have every bit of damage present.
Oh my god, you look like shit. Okay, hold on. I'll go get Kid. Hold on. She kind of like grabs you by the hand and kind of begins to drag you through the bar. I'll get Kid. What? Are you okay?
I'll be fine. I'm just.
Are your friends
Hey.
okay? Are you guys?
Yeah, it's been a very long reunion that we've kind of had, and I just wanted to. It seems like everyone's doing their own thing right now, so I thought I'd come by and get something to eat before settling down for the night eventually.
Oh. Okay. Are you sure you don't want me to get Kid though and like help heal you back up though? Like you've got a couple of open wounds, so I'm just okay. You know what? You sit. I'll be right back. And Cat scatters, and she just like immediately like sits you down at a booth and then runs away. About a minute later, that sort of silver dragonborn walks over. In her hand is like a bowl of kind of like a nice like beef stew, and a sort of cup of kind of like a sort of like a very sweet and kind of warm mead, and she places that in front of you, and she just goes, "Enjoy." And kind of turns and walks off. Doesn't ask for anything, just gives you this food, and then leaves. A couple minutes later, Cat comes back with this sort of very tattered and rusty looking med kit. And she scoots in and sits beside you. So okay, first, arm. Second, where were you? She kind of like takes your arm and begins to kind of very gently tend to some of the wounds that she can see.
After I got back home, I did my trial thing, and I did pass it. I met some cool new people from up, which I didn't know that they were. I know they're like probably other like sanctions of the Jaeger order, but I didn't know they were so like. I just didn't realize how big his reach actually is. Yeah, they were really cool people. We fought some statue ghosts, and then this giant, terrifying worm thing that apparently have been popping up all over the place.
Oh, well. Okay, that sounds bad.
Yeah, they're making big holes everywhere.
Oh, is anywhere in particular? Are
Uh,
we okay? I mean, we haven't seen
well,
any big
there's a
holes.
giant one in. Well, there's a giant one in Vespa right now, and then there was one
Okay.
a bit of ways outside in Nemeth. I think apparently they're everywhere though.
And she kind of tilts her head a little bit. She is like, okay, so I think we're okay. I think.
Hopefully everything will be alright. But then when I got after that big old worm thing came around, my master sent me away to. I didn't know where everyone else was, if they were here or someone else, and he was saying, "Oh, they came from the area that's in direction of Vespa." So I went there, and then ran into everybody else, and then ran into Ramsey's family, and then
Well, that's fun.
his dad threw me into a room and locked me there for
Oh,
the entire night.
that's less
And
fun.
then apparently my brother's been working with them. They're not great people, apparently. Oh, his dad turned into this big bat monster thing. And then my brother killed him.
Oh,
And then Felix teleported us back home. And somehow Tola got stuck there with my brother. She apparently
oh.
doesn't look all. She looks relatively unscathed, but like she just doesn't want to talk about it, and everyone kept pressuring her, and I was like, guys, lay off it.
Oh, okay.
She just needs alone time, I think, right now.
Reasonably so. I mean, I think it's a big thing to happen. So, yeah. Is everybody okay though? Like, is everybody all right?
I mean, Felix is real beat up and tired after using too much magic. Ramsey is emotionally damaged.
I don't blame him.
Oh, we had to send his brother. I don't know where Quinn took him, but he's apparently safe. But if my brother wants his brother, then wherever he ended up in may not be safe anymore.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I don't know. I don't really know what's happening.
Sounds like it's been a rough couple days. It's been a rough day. It's been wow. Okay.
Yeah, I only got a bit of time to just relax and I guess train a bit at home, but it's really it. I can do more magic and have a bigger connection with Jegg, but that's cool.
You got some cool new gloves. I noticed that.
Yeah, got a whole new look, I guess.
I like it. No, it looks good. It just sounds like it's a lot to take in. It sounds like you've been through a lot. I was just expecting you guys fought like a big monster. I wasn't expecting you to talk about you know.
Technically we did, but like yeah, it was a bit more than you could have expected.
Yeah, well, okay. The moment you bring family into any situation, it just gets more complicated. Like, I like things when they're like cut in stone, like it's, oh hey, big monster, you punch it and then eventually it dies. And so the moment you bring life into it, it's just, ugh. I just wish it
Parent-
could be easier.
Yeah, apparently, my brother told Ramsey's parents I was like that, well, not me exactly, but there was some kind of traitor among our people, and apparently it was all just a big scheme for him. It just goes to show he's always one step ahead of you.
I have no. I'm probably. Yeah. Let's change the subject. We don't need to talk about your brother. I mean, how have you been?
I mean, pretty alright, I guess. It was a weird being away for so long. I'm still waiting for a message back from home after I told them about the other big worm that I saw.
Ah. You think they're gonna find you here?
Again, I don't know. I don't think they're targeting people specifically, but they're all. Oh, but hold on. I'm gonna take one of the pieces of the one that we fought with Wreck. They're all. Wait, they hit a bunch of like spikes on them.
Like weird spiky.
Yeah, I'm just gonna like take some of the parts out.
Oh, whoa, okay, whoa. Oh, those are much bigger than I was expecting. Wow, okay. That's cool.
Yeah, I think there's some. I can probably find someone that'll either buy them or turn them into something different.
I think I might know somebody who might be able to help you out with that.
You know, there's one, but is gonna kind of the flex where the the rings are on his biceps. I mean, there's one woman that I bought in the city where I bought she was pretty thrilled to see monster parts.
Oh shoot, is that
Yeah, the curse. Yeah, they
Lynn
turn
Marie
these
or
turn out
something?
to be
Lynn,
cursed.
I think is her name. She's like a little gnome, always flying around the broom thing. Yeah, no, I've seen her a couple times before. She's an interesting one. Well, you can bring it to her then. But if you ever want someone who's a little bit more on the down low, I mean, I know a guy or two. But okay, well, I don't know if I would want them to get their hands on something so bad and a giant hole making. So maybe it's the best you give them to her. They're fun, and they could do some really cool stuff. I just don't know if I trust them with that. That's fine. Yeah, I'll be fine.
It's a pretty big wall out there. We'll depend to find another city that has some other nerd out there that's wanting magic stuff, right?
Yeah, probably. There's probably hundreds of them, right? But I'm glad to see you're okay. Really.
Is everything fine here?
For the most part, yeah. Pretty boring. Kid had to leave for a couple of days. Said he had business out of town, so I was in charge for a little bit, and that was cool. But now he's back. He's back now, so.
Do you say what it was? Like, is it
Business.
like work stuff, or was he just like?
When
got
kids says
called
business, you
somewhere?
oftentimes don't question it unless you're involved in the business. That's just the business, and that's just how it works out here. You know, not everything we do is legal, and so we just call it business.
I mean,
Yeah, I know you don't.
We've-
I didn't ask because it's better if I don't know. 'Cause, With what kid's up to, it's questionable at times. But he does it for us, so.
I mean, if it helps people.
Oh yeah, I mean, obviously. Thanks to him, we have literally. She kind of gestures widely to the tavern. He does it for the good of us. That's all that matters. But he doesn't tell me details. He doesn't really tell me anything anymore. But it's okay. I know it's for the best. He's just trying to protect me, so it's all good.
I mean, especially after everything else that happened.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't anyone want to make sure you're safe?
Yeah. I appreciate it. It's just gets a bit boring, you know. I'm sitting out here protecting the townsfolk and, you know, just helping them with their daily duties, but I don't get to do any of the fun stuff anymore. It's
Well, I don't know how long we're sticking around here, but maybe at some point you can come with us on our does a stupid smug smile our business and see what and get up to something fun.
I'd enjoy that, but it'd have to stay pretty local. I don't know if I want to go any further than like Crosstown. It's difficult right now. I'm in a pretty weird spot, but I don't want to risk getting caught again. So anyway, the stew any good? Sorry. I feel like I just kind of down to the mood. I didn't mean to.
No, it's all right. I just needed a change of scenery for the rest of the day, and this is always nice scenery.
I'm glad you can. I'm glad you guys are all home safe. I mean, you're welcome to stay much longer out here if you want. I mean, yeah.
I have nothing better to do. Holly is put up in a room. Quinn's doing whatever the hell Quinn does. Felix is probably face down in a book and or pillow, and Ramsey is probably standing outside his room wondering if he's alright.
Yeah, that does seem to be your team's dynamic.
Oh, I could go hang out with Dusk, but what's he doing? Homework?
Oh yeah, you made a friend with one of the school students. I forgot about that.
Yeah, it's so hard being a rivals when I have to move all over the place, and he's pent up in a building all the time.
Isn't he a knight?
Yeah, but he's also like 17 or something and still in like school mandatorily.
You're not too much better.
I don't.
She gotta say
I didn't go to school.
Okay, and I didn't go to school either, but I still needed to be taught. You know, I had help. You had to be taught too.
I mean, I was.
Hey, if you think about it, weren't the Jaeger Paladins your teachers? Wasn't that your schooling?
It
was just different. Less books, more, physically punching stuff. But you can read and count, right? So there was obviously
Yes.
some books involved. Oh, wait. Ripley, can you read?
Yes, I can.
Okay, I was
Not
I
well.
was making sure. I was like,
Not well, but I've been.
Okay, well, all right, that's fair. All right. I was just making sure because I wasn't. I'm not gonna judge, but I just want to be sure. All right.
I was taught more practical stuff. He's getting taught how to do air quotes taxes.
Yeah. See, this is why we don't pay taxes out here. That's
I
why
don't
we don't
even
get
know what-
support. So.
I don't even know what those are.
You obviously know something about them because you mentioned them.
I'm
I'm not gonna explain taxes to you. I'm not gonna do that. Okay. How about do you want to go on a walk? Just like around. And get out of here.
Walk.
Shut up. Do you want to go? Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I need to recover. God damn it, Liz.
I wouldn't mind getting out again of actually eating something today.
I mean, is this doing good? I helped Gloria make it, so I'm not a big chef, but I know the basics.
I mean, you saw how I was.
That's true. Come on.
Good. Yes, let's.
Yeah, she kind of like takes you by the wrist a little bit and kind of drags you around. After she's, she's bandaged you up for the most part, covered up anything that was bad, but she can't really do anything. I guess I'll roll some hit die for you. Feel free to recover. 10 points of healing, just over the course of your conversation, as she was gently kind of tending to your wounds.
It's not bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not. Hey, it's not perfect, but it's something.
I'm gonna rest eventually.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You guys can walk outside. There's like a very gentle, light snowfall happening. Kind of look at this late into the evening. Afterwards, Kat just kind of goes, if you're interested, you can always crash on my couch if you don't want to head back into the city.
I wouldn't mind hanging around a little longer. I don't have a lot of responsibilities anyway, and this would probably be the first place they'd look for anyway if they found out I was missing. Plus, they don't really know where my brother's house is in the city, so they couldn't really look there either, but it's fine.
Yeah. Good. So then you're not really lost.
I never really get lost anyway.
Oh, good for you. Oh, not everybody has that luxury. Listen, Ripley, I feel like I should bring This is awkward. You remember last time you were here, right?
He's gonna pull his scarf more over his face. Mm-hmm.
I felt I wanted to say sorry for how I reacted. I didn't know. Um, I didn't know how to react. Really, I've never.
I mean, you want the one that ran away as fast as they could?
Well, it's not. You are very fast, but I am faster. I could have caught up to you if I knew what was going on in the moment, but it's anyway. That's not the point. You're really great, and I'm sorry I reacted like that. I've never had to deal with or had to experience anything like this. And I think it wasn't bad. I feel like I reacted poorly, and I wanted to say sorry.
I mean, I feel like I should be the one to realistically apologize. I didn't really know what I was doing either. It kind of just happened, and that's why I ran, because I got embarrassed. I didn't know what you were gonna say.
It's okay.
Do
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I mean, I'd like to get to know you. I don't know if that's. I don't know. I've never been in a situation like this. I don't really know. I didn't hate it either. Just so you know.
wait, I'm glad that you didn't like that. You liked it. That you did.
No,
you,
okay. Okay. So you see Kat's that she's like looking at the ground, kind of like kicking at like the snow. Like her hair is like fully trying to cover her face, but you can even tell like her cheeks are like slightly reddened. Like are not slightly, quite red. So we cool like that, I guess. Okay.
oh, yeah, we can. I guess. I'll figure it out as we go. It's not like we're friends right now. It's not like anything has to
Yeah.
happen.
Of course. Yeah. Obviously. Yeah. Duh.
I mean, to be fair, we know, like, not a lot about each other, just like
Hey,
the basic.
I know you're the king's brother. That's like the most important detail, right? When also that you're cool and you got your friends and you got me in jail that one time. Yeah, okay. I think we actually do. We should. Okay, this is so complicated. I think we should get to know each other a little bit before anything else happens again. I just. I'm really glad I met you, all, and your friends.
I mean, I feel the the same way. Like you and all of this and Kid, all of it's great. Everything about what you do is really cool.
Thanks. I don't get to train it as often as you do, I don't think, but I mean, especially now, but I mean, like, even before, it was, I don't know. I'm glad I caught you all breaking into the antique store.
We-
Oh, I know it was for a good reason, but I just to think about all of it. But
I guess I meet the weirder. I meet the people important to me in the weirdest ways, I guess.
Oh, what was God that stupid saying? Is fate works in mysterious ways like that? Huh. You know, I'd be down to spar sometime if you want. We're ever interested. I know you're more of a hit like a truck kind of fighter, and I'm more like a punch a bunch of times until it gets really sore kind of fighter. But I mean, like, maybe later.
Maybe it. I mean, I think it'd be I think it'd be fun. What? You get a good change of pace from Ramsey, who has a really weird way of fighting, and Dusk, who insert reference here because I've never actually fought him yet.
Yeah.
Him, the way he is, and the way that how terrifying the way that my master fights. It'd be an interesting. I think it'd be just fun.
Well, the offer still stands. That is if you think you could beat me. I don't know. I mean, you have gotten stronger, so I'll give you that. I mean, with your whole ascension thing.
Yeah, well, maybe. Yeah, maybe. I don't know when we're. Maybe before when the gang head out of the city again. Before that, I mean, I'll probably try to. I don't know what's happening anymore, but it'd be fun to spend as much time with you as I can before disappearing again for like another few months.
I hope it's not that long. But yeah. Why don't we head back to my house? It's kind of cold outside. It is the middle of winter and the middle of the night, so probably
Yeah.
for the best. Cat kind of leads you back to the balcony, which you have to climb up the ladder to and get into her kind of apartment area, which has been cleaned up since the last time you've been here. It's back to its sort of original sort of set. You can. She offers the couch for you to kind of rest on. But one thing you do realize is once she gets kind of within her own home, she goes into her room and kind of comes back out in much like larger, baggier, very comfy clothing, and kind of shifts back into her lichen form. And there's a sense of like discomfort there when she shifts back into her natural form for a second. Like it's almost embarrassment. But she shifts back and then goes and takes a seat beside you. Doesn't really say anything or mention it.
Ripley will go into his disguise.
Oh,
Well, I changed my hair a bit.
I I like it. Can you cut it?
Yeah, they made me. Yes, they made me trim everything.
Yeah. No, it looks good on you though. Caleb doesn't have those assets ready, so I'm not able to change your thing. I'm sorry. Maybe next week. Um, but Kat kind of sits there and she goes, "Can you shift back? I've been trying to get a little bit more comfortable like this, but it's not. Hasn't been super easy since. They're not super comfortable with me. I mean, kid's all right, but I don't know. They've known me as like human cat for so long. It's and trying to keep focus in this form is also scary. But
I mean, that's. Well, I get it. Being in my disguise isn't the most appealing thing to me, and I feel kind of like almost the same way when I have to, you know, hide everything.
it's weird. I feel the same way, but opposite. Just because I behold my form for such a long time. It's weird.
Yeah. Just bare skin is weird. I don't
It's not that bad.
feels so. I feel so vulnerable like this.
She kind of like quickly shifts back into her normal human form. And you can see she kind of like there's a visible like sort of like gasp of air as she almost like she was holding her breath while in her lichen form a little bit. And she kind of reaches out, kind of like grabs you by the hand a little bit, even though it's kind of gloved. She kind of grabs you by the hand, and kind of like reaches up and it kind of like grabs your shoulder, I guess. And she's just like, it's not that bad. I mean, if you think about it, you still have all your fur there. It's just, a little smaller. And she kind of like gently kind of like rubs your shoulder. At least that's how I think about it.
I just don't understand how you. I mean, I've seen my brother do it a handful of times. I've only seen him do it once recently, and see how do you do it so fluidly? It feels like it hurts sometimes when I do it.
It hurts. But once I'm in this form, I guess it just feels so much more like being wrapped in like a tight blanket. There's a sort of weird comfort to it. I don't know. The transformation itself kind of feels a little pinchy at times, but I don't know. Maybe it's just practice.
I mean, it's a weird feeling. It's like a really long stretch.
That is what it feels like, yeah.
I mean, I think you look good either way.
She kind of blushes a little at that. I think
Yeah,
you're good. You're good
face
either
is-
way too.
Real red.
Oh, she, as you say that, she kind of like grabs parts of her hair and like wraps herself and like looks away from you. And like she just like fully turns her entire body and looks away. Just, okay, well, you don't have to point stuff like that out, okay? Like you just. She just like curls up on the couch, just facing away from you. But she's very embarrassed.
Well, you can take equally so.
Eventually, she kind of just like leans back against you.
I'm also like somehow really short in this disguise. I don't know how it happened.
I mean,
I really
think we're all,
don't know.
I think we are all a bit taller in our lycan forms than our human
I mean,
forms.
I am a complete foot shorter than I am
I'm like
in
a
my
couple
normal
inches
form.
taller. Not a full foot though.
I'm
I mean, you're not that short. You know, you're like the same height as me. I might actually be a little bit taller than you.
I think I'm like a 5'3" when I'm like this.
It's cute. And she kind of like leans back against you. Just kind of like leaning like against your shoulder a little bit. Like not facing you at this point because she's way too embarrassed to face you. But like she's leaning against you. And her eyes are kind of closed. She's just resting. But
It's just sitting there, just.
you can sit there. I mean, it's already quite late, so if you wanted to sit there and rest, Cat will stay there with you for the rest of the night. And we are pulling up on time. I think, Steven, you wanted to do something specifically with Ramsey, right? So, we'll have to wait to do that next week, because Jegg's away. Is there anything else you want to do in the meantime?
Sleep.
Sleep. Okay, that's fair. Quinn can immediately lay down on your big comfy bed and just pass the fuck out. You also have 2 points of exhaustion, don't you? So yeah, it's I think everybody needs a nap.
Now I have 2 points of exhaustion if we are getting a long rest.
Oh fuck.
I
Okay,
took
yeah. Okay.
2 for the teleport. Yeah, 2 for the teleports and 1 for the thing. He said I could take a point of exhaustion to cast it instantly.
Yep. No, I did say that. I forgot about it, but yeah, I forgot. Yep. No, that's how it works.
Thanks.
Damn.
Beep, beep.
I don't want to let the inspiration go to waste. I just want to roll a generic charisma roll.
Do it.
Fuck, that was high.
That's the real Riz roll for you and Kat. Well, this was fun. I guess we'll figure out someone to raid. This was a very fun, very chill episode, all things considered.
Well, mostly.
Stream is starting soon. Alright, we'll raid Mischief.
Yay.
Tell Mischief I say hi, everybody. Everybody get in there. Raid Mischief, raid Mischief, raid Mischief. They're super cool. They were part of the those who are watching the stream, because we have 13 viewers right now. Mischief was on our one-shot episode, which you can find on YouTube. I think next week it'll be up. So like this upcoming Monday, probably. if you wanted to rewatch the Get Wrecked one shot where they are actually a player. It's very fun. Watch that. Okay, everybody. Bye.
Context on the worm.
Bye.
Bye. All right.
A worm.